Alrighty, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, y'all? It's me coming at you again with another live video stream. Today, we're going to talk about a few things here. Of course, the news of the day is that Tyson Fury and the Deontay Wilder third fight, or the trilogy fight, will not take place by the end of this year as it was initially scheduled. Now, this is according to Tyson Fury, and Frank Warren has hinted this a couple of days ago. Now, according to Tyson Fury, he has moved on from the Wilder rematch. In other words, he pulled out. Now I'm going to bring up the article here, and I'm going to go ahead and read some key points, read the key quotes to it, and then I'm going to offer my take and opinion on this matter, and with a little bit of facts as well. So, according to not Deontay Wilder, according to Tyson Fury, uh, I've moved on, blah blah blah. Okay, here we go. So, according to Tyson Fury, he says here that the reason why he's pulled out of the fight because his opponent Wilder's team was had an issue with the date. Okay, he said here that quote, according to the Atlantic, this is who he gave the interview with. He says, "I was looking forward to smashing Wilder again and a quick and easy fight, but Wilder and his team were messing around with the date. They didn't really want to fight the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. They knew how it ends. They know how it ends. The world knows how it will end with Wilder on his ass again." Now, Wilder, that's end quote. Now, Wilder had already pushed the date back from July 18th to October 3rd, as he said he was had an injury, and then asked to postpone it again. So, quote from Tyson Fury. Then they asked me if I would agree to push it to December. I agreed to December 19th. Then they tried to change the date again into next year. I've been training. I've been ready. When they tried to move the date off to November 19th and push it to next year, I said enough was enough. I've moved on. Fury added, end quote. All right. So, according to Tyson Fury, he says that he's got a fight lined up in December 5th in the UK against either more likely Lucas Brown or Dave Allen came into the discussion. Now, let me just say this here. Tyson Fury, was he right or wrong to pull out of the Wilder rematch? According to what he says, that's up for debate. But I will say this though: Tyson Fury has a bad track record of pulling out of fights, especially in media rematches. Now, let's not forget that he pulled out in a media rematch with Vladimir Klitschko when they were scheduled to fight. All right, he did that. He pulled out a media rematch with Wilder for the second fight, which we all know he did that, and now he does it again. Now, again, some people could say he was justified doing this because some people didn't really want to see the third fight, given the end result to the second fight, which Fury gave a beatdown to Deontay Wilder, which we all agree he did. And some people believe that Tyson Fury did use some deceptive tactics such as cheating to get his way through that fight. We don't know that for sure. But I don't, I'll say this though. We don't know that for sure. You can speculate about the glove situation, but we have to move on from that. There have been investigations that's been conducted. Tyson Fury was clear from that situation. We got to move forward from that. So, um, but the thing is that again, him pulling out is up for the debate whether it looks bad on him and whether it looks good on him. But again, if he pulls out, well, he did pull out. According to him, he pulls out and then he wants to fight Lucas Brown or Dave Allen. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. I think many people would agree that you know what, we rather people who didn't want to see the Wilder third fight with Fury, I think they would agree that we rather see the third fight of Wilder Fury rather than see Tyson Fury fight either Dave Allen or freaking Lucas Brown. All right, but first of all, as I looked at the rankings, neither of those guys are ranked by the WBC, neither one of them. And further to add to the point here, I want to also add that freaking Shelly Finkel came out 2 days ago when it was initially stated by Frank Warren that the fight wasn't going to might not happen this year. Shelly Finkel comes out and reviewed those claims and said that wait a minute, that's not true. The fight is scheduled for December 19th as planned. That was well maybe a few days, about 2 days ago. Then Fury comes out and says that well I'm moving on. So I'm very confused about who's telling the truth here. All right, now I haven't heard a rebuttal. I haven't heard a retraction or a rebuttal from Team Wilder yet. But they need to come out and address this right now and see what's going on here and see if this is actually true. Did Fury actually pull out because you guys wanted to move the date again? But again, that's up for debate or interpretation here. Now, if you feel that Tyson Fury was justified for pulling out because he didn't want to oblige to another date, another delay, then that's on you. But for him to go out and says I'm gonna fight Lucas Brown, and then Dave Allen comes up with the conversation, you can't give him a pass for that. Fuck that. All right. Now, again, those two guys are not even ranked by the WBC. All right. And now, if he's willing to give up his WBC title to fight those guys or go to a champion or become a franchise champion, then I got a huge problem with that. So, oh, what's up, BG London? He says that Bob and Frank said the fight's happening and done a U-turn with this expired contract. What? Really? They did? Oh shit. Yo, BG London, can you show me a link to that? Because I'm gonna find that right now. Hold on. Yeah, let me take a look at that because let me see. 24 hours. Let's say the recent hour. Frank Warren says that Tyson Fury will fight in the UK in December before facing off Anthony Joshua. Blah 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 blah. Well, I don't see the U-turn comment, but let me see if I can find it. And let me see if I could find it in the boxing scene. See what they said anything about this. So Tyson Fury is lined up for a fight at Albert Hall of all places. Okay. He's gonna be fighting at the Albert Hall. I guess that's excusable given the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic. You can't allow to have big crowds. But the opponent is Lucas fucking Brown, for God's sake. Lucas Brown. That's what's being talked about right now. All right. Yeah, BG Lundy, if you could post a link that says that they did a U-turn on this, please let me know. What's up, Rock? Long time no here, man. Dave Allen's last brain cell. Nah, Opie, nah. Dwayne says that boxing since the pandemic has been so confusing. It has been, man. It's been very, very bizarre. More bizarre than I've ever seen it. But to be fair, though, we still had some great fights happen this year, and they still continue to happen despite the pandemic. We got Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko coming up this weekend. So I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. But anyways, yeah, if you could post a link to where it says that they're did a U-turn on that, then okay, here's the confusion here. Because I'm looking at the boxing article here where it says Tyson Fury's lined up a fight at Albert Hall. Now, Shelly Finkel, as I quoted, said that the fight will go ahead this year, but Fury has claimed that he was informed that it was being moved to next year. So, okay, who's telling the truth here? So Tyson Fury was told this by his team. See what's going on here? I'm very confused about this situation. So now BG London says that they've retracted that, said they are going to take that, they are going to go ahead and get the fight go ahead and to avoid all the confusion. So I mean this is just confusing. But let me get the guys in the chat. We're going to discuss this. Before I do that, let me just go ahead and go over a couple things about politics here. Donald Trump is going to be campaigning again. I think he's campaigning right now, which is a reckless move on his part because he's still contagious. He hasn't been fully recovered from corona. All right, still not wearing a mask irresponsibly, affecting more people as we speak. And then you have one of the Republican senators who had it at the Amy Coney Barrett confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, whatnot, for the Supreme Court seat. Okay, you have Senator Mike Lee of Utah, who was at that super spreader rally for the Supreme Court nomination ceremony at the White House Rose Garden. Okay, he tested positive. He was there. He was hugging everybody, this, that, and the third. He tested positive for COVID. And then he goes over to the confirmation hearing right there in the chamber of the Senate without a fucking mask. And he hasn't even quarantined himself for 14 days, as he said he was going to do. So he takes his ass over to the chamber of the Senate for the confirmation hearing of Amy Coney Barrett, whatnot, and then risk affecting every people, everybody who's in that fucking chamber. I mean to me there has to be some type of law written about situations like that because that's fucking reckless and stupid. Anybody not only know they have the virus and they're intentionally going in there not protecting not only themselves but also their people around them, not wearing a mask, that's fucking crazy. All right? That's fucking crazy. You got Lindsey Graham who's refusing to take a fucking drug test where he himself has been around the president and his staff for a long stretches of time now, and more recently. This is fucking crazy. BG London said I was referring to the expired contract canceling the fight. Oh, okay. So basically, what you're saying, BG London, is that they're still standing to the principle, or fear standing to the principle that the fight's not going to happen this year, but that doesn't mean the fight will not happen. It will happen one way or the other. So it may go into next year. So that's what you're referring to. Okay. Rock says a boxer really could have taken advantage of the pandemic like the UFC, but just like the boxing, it keeps on fumbling the ball. Yeah, it does. It does. It just keeps fucking up here, man. I mean, seriously, it just screwing up. It's like people are just fighters are just really. I mean, look, it seems like fighters are really in control of these promoters and how they get these fights done because fighters are not accepting a pay cut. They're not going to do it. So you got the promoters and the networks scrambling to find ways to fund the fights without a live gate. They're struggling to do that, and you know they're barely making even on these fights, and they're not making no profit just to get the fights done. Just like the NBA, just like the NFL and the MLB, they're all losing money because of this pandemic. But they still got to get these players paid. They still got to entertain the crowd. They at least trying to recoup some of that money through ratings and licensing fees, whatnot. But yeah, it's a fucked up year, 2020. I think after this year, people want to forget about 2020. Nobody wants to talk about it. Tell you the truth, you know. And then Rock says that you got Pence here in Ohio now. Cause the traffic is all messed up. Mike Pence is yeah, you know they're campaigning in Ohio because that is a critical swing state. But way things are looking right now, I don't see. Donald Trump is pacing losing Ohio. He's pacing losing it. What up, Raider? What's up, man? What's up? Um, Sorry for the confusing comment, bro. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. I appreciate. No worries. We got that cleared up. Uh, yes, I was going to briefly talk about the Ruben Villa and the Emmanuel Navarrete fight. Good win for Navarrete. He defeated a prospect undefeated Villa. Basically Villa took the fight on a pretty relatively short notice because Jesse Magdaleno was scheduled to fight for that vacant title at 126 and he pulled out. So I think Magdaleno would gave Navarrete a better let's say a better test, but he would have been more competitive in my view than Villa. Villa tried his best, but Navarrete just too big, man. He's huge. He was even huge at 122, man. Fuck. He look even bigger at 126 in my view. But Navarrete looks, he looks very good, man. And yeah, I mean, I don't understand why Shakur Stevenson gave up that WBO belt. I mean, that's I need to figure out why he did that. Let me see why did he relinquish that belt because I haven't really been keeping up, especially at 126 as much. Let me see, Shakur Stevenson. He gave up the belt. Well, I think he was stripped, was he not? Let me see. Gave up the belt. All right, let's see. Yeah, he vacated the belt and he moved up at 130. All right, so that's what he did. All right, okay. Well, whatever. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna bring the guys in the chat to see if they want to talk about this real quickly. I would put this here. See if you guys want to hop on. We could talk about this Tyson Fury real quickly. BG is asking, is the Lomachenko fight pay per view in America? No, it isn't. But it is pay per view over there for you guys in the UK. I believe it's what 995 or £10, which is a very very good deal for you guys. I mean, damn, if we can get that price over here in the United States, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely for us. So yeah, Speaking of pay-per-view, Joshua Pulev is what, 40 pounds? So if you take that into the American dollar, if you do that conversion here, let's see, pound, yeah, pound to US dollar conversion. Pound sterling, right? So you take 40 pounds. So in the US, that's $52. All right. Yeah, Magdaleno versus Navarrete would be fire. Yeah, that would be a damn good fight. It was a shame that Magdaleno pulled out, and hopefully we could get that fight sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? And whatnot, because Magdaleno, we definitely need to see him get back in there. I know he had his setbacks against Isaac Dobby, whatnot. And I wish we could have got that rematch with Dobby, but I don't think that took place. I could be wrong. Let's see, whatnot. But anyways, I'm gonna bring these guys in here, and then we're gonna chop it up real quickly. Yeah, they never rematched. We wish we could have gotten that rematch, but well, I guess because that was a mandatory fight, so there was no rematch clause taking place. Because Isaac Dalby fought to be the #1 contender for that title, and Magdalena was the junior featherweight champion. And Dalby, yeah, that was a damn good fight, though. Damn good fight. Went 11 rounds, but yeah. Let me get the other guys in. How do I get this? Oh, here we go. Yeah, for Senator Mike Lee to go in there and testify while he's fucking contagious with COVID, not testify, go in there and fucking hold the confirmation hearing for Amy, oh shit, I can't, what's her name? Amy Coney Barrett. There we go. Amy Coney Barrett with the Supreme Court. I I don't know, man. I don't know if these Republicans have no regard for safety and health. I really don't think they do. It's a crime knowing they affect and they're going to affect everybody else. That's criminal right there. I'm just keeping it real. I mean, hell, there's laws out there, and I have to imagine the entire United States, if not, that if you knowingly have HIV and you go out there and infect your partner, you knowingly know you had it. That's a crime. That's pretty much considered attempted murder right there. So, I mean, this should be a same. Same rule should apply to those who have COVID. If they knowingly they have COVID and they're going ahead and spreading it around people purposely, then that should be brought up on criminal charges right there, in my view. All right, hop on live. All right, we're gonna talk about this Fury thing real quickly. The smokes. L dog, what's happening? I'm good, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just covering this whole Tyson Fury thing. If you want to hop on, we could discuss this because I'm sure you heard the news that he's pulled out of the fight, whatnot. But there's a lot of confusion what's going on here with this whole Wilder and Fury situation. A lot of confusion. So if you want to hop on, we could talk about it. I posted a link in the chat so you could come in. We could talk about it briefly while the other guys get on because there's some contradictory statements here when it comes to Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury was told, according to him, he was told, "What's up, Haplotype? What's up, man?" Yeah. So according to Tyson Fury, he was told that the fight would be pushed back next year, and that's why he said he wants to pull out. But does he have the right to do that on his own without further consultation? Now he's saying that he has a date lined up for December 5th at the Royal Albert Hall. Frank Warren's confirmed that too, right? Now they're talking about Lucas Brown. Now the thing is that Lucas Brown is not even fucking rated in the WBC, and neither is fucking Dave Allen, which came into the conversation as well. So let's just look at the lineup here, see who would be plausible for him to fight there. I mean, Charles Martin, I think, is still ranked there. Am I right? All right, let's look at the rankings. All right. So if you look at the rankings right now, you have Andy Ruiz. Fury may not take that fight. Nah, he's not taking that fight. I just don't see it. I'll be surprised if he does. Dillian White, he's got a rematch with Povetkin, so that's out of the question. Joseph Parker is now lined up with Junior Fall, so that's not going to happen. Daniel Dubois, well, he's lined up with Joe Joyce, so that's not going to happen. Philip Herkovich. He's already fought already, but I think he's got another fight lined up. Michael Hunter. Now, will he fight Michael Hunter going into December 5th? I hope so, because that's a damn good fight. I want to see it. And I think Michael Hunter has a good chance of beating Tyson Fury. I don't think he can, but he has a very good chance. Derek Chisora, well, he's lined up with Alexander Usyk, so that's not going to happen. Charles Martin, I say that's all right because Charles Martin's been on a pretty decent win streak after the Joshua loss. Fa Jabba, nope, no, not happening. Fa Jabba is still a prospect at this point. He needs more time to progress as a professional. And I have to be honest with you, Fa Jabba, he's been he's been to me he's been regressing a little bit. So it doesn't look he doesn't look quite oppressive right now as a top level heavyweight at this point. He doesn't. So Adjakabayel, that's a decent fight. Maybe that's the fight they may want to go for because he is rated 15. All right, so by the WBC that is. So Adjakabayel, I'd rather see that fight than fucking Lucas Brown. Let's be real. I'd rather see that fight. But if he takes on Lucas Brown, then fuck that. No, 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 no. I'm not giving Fury a pass, and neither should you. As a Fury fan, should not give him a pass. Oscar Rivas. Oscar Rivas is number 8. So yeah, I mean Oscar Rivas, has he fought after the Dillian White fight? I don't think so. So I mean, I guess it's more acceptable than fucking Lucas Brown. Uh, he's more credible opponent than Lucas Brown. So I'd rather take that. I'd rather accept that fight. But Rivas, yeah, I mean, Tyson Fury definitely should beat Rivas rather comfortably because Rivas, he's crude. He's got some, he's got a decent foot speed. He's pretty quick, whatnot. But Tyson Fury will pick him apart. I think he will. But he's coming off a loss and he's getting a title shot, so that's what kind of makes the thing a bit, you know, a bit, interesting when it comes to say at least. But people argue that he was cheated at that elimination title eliminator fight against Dillian White, which that can be argued because there was a lot of shady tactics shady shenanigans that was going on with that fight. I mean, a lot of Dillian White fans don't want to admit that, but it is a fact. Well, hardcore fans, that is, not rational fans. Yeah, yeah. Cabiel is rated number 15, so maybe that will be. Yeah, that's more credible fight. All right, so let me see. BG London says that L Dog, who's telling the truth, Bob Frank or Shelly Finkel? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, L Dog responded says that aren't they all boxing promoters? Because at the end of the day, I mean, if so, they're all lying. Well, again, this is where the situation gets confusing because Tyson Fury is the one coming out saying that he was told that Wilder wanted to push the date back. Wilder's team via Shelly Finkel came out a couple of days ago saying that we're not pushing the date back. We're going to keep it scheduled for December 19th. So what's going on here? So we need to know who's telling the truth here because I'm confused about this. So I got Smoke here coming into the chat. What's up, Smoke?
Hey, what's up, Dan? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. So I was just gonna chop it up a little bit. We could discuss this Tyson situation. I don't know if there's shenanigans going on. I mean, what's the deal here? I'm not sure if you read the news about Tyson Fury pulling out of the Wilder rematch.
I've
I
been,
mean, whether Fury is
I don't
right
know.
or wrong. Go ahead.
It seems like they've been trying to do this for a while now, right? I don't know how much of it is just 21st century promotion, like, making sure your name stays in the news, or how much of it is they just need to stay active and relevant, right?
Right.
I mean, and then almost it started off as something that was at least reasonable, right, that they were going to fight AJ, but I didn't put a whole lot of stock in it back then. I don't know I put a whole lot of stock in it now. It just
Well, yeah. Speaking of the AJ fight, I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Well, this brings it a step closer." No, it's
no.
not even closer because you have to understand Tyson Fury fights on a different network. That's another problem. Number two, of course, yeah, he's fighting with different promoters, so that's not really much of an issue. But number three is that they haven't even tendered an offer with each other yet. But according to Tyson Fury, he said he's already accepted financial terms to fight Anthony Joshua. late next year. But I mean, was those terms negotiated with the TV networks getting involved here? Because that's kind of brash for Tyson Fury to say that.
It
I mean,
wasn't
I'll be
brash. It wasn't brash. It was based on a guy who's now on the run. So the guy who you put the deal together, they can't find where that dude is right now.
really. Oh yeah, Daniel Callahan, the mobster, right? Who supposedly got that worked out, right?
Hey, he shall who shall not be named as far as I'm concerned. All I'm saying is they thanked the guy, and then Interpol was looking for him the very next day, and then he disappeared from the country he was in.
Yeah, so he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, you can't find that guy.
Wow.
And then
So
also AJ's injured, right? So
yeah,
he can't even fight his mandatory because he's injured. So he's going to come off a long layoff injury for Tyson Fury all of a
yeah.
sudden because Tyson Fury is what bored or wants to
Well,
stay wants to stay in shape.
yeah. Not only that, Joshua's got to deal with Usyk. Usyk's made it clear he's not stepping aside for anybody. He wants his title shot after the Chisora fight if he gets past Chisora. So, uh,
Even then, I mean that could just be an envelope play, right? I mean, you
right.
say what it is until you get broken off. But the point is, all of this is I moved on from Wilder, which is no. What you moved on from Wilder? Why? To do what?
Exactly. And that's the one thing I wanted to point out too, because Tyson Fury has notorious for pulling out a mandatory, I mean not mandatory, pulling out immediate rematches. He's notorious for doing this shit. He did this twice to twice now to Wilder. He did it to Klitschko. So I don't know, man. It's like, is he playing shenanigans here? Because it seems to me that I don't know. I don't want to say the guy's playing games here because again, you have to take these into account. Finkel came out 2 days ago when the rumor came out that the fight was off. He said that's not true. The fight is still on for December 19th. And then today we learned that Fury's pulling out because they're trying to move the date. He said he was told they moved the date, and they were using the fact that the contract was it the expiration date for the rematch clause expired, which now according to BG London, Frank Warren and Bob Aaron's retracting that, said no, that's not true. In other words, the fight will still happen either way, one way or the other. May not be this year. So I'm like, well,
So,
okay, what's
so
going on here?
Fury decided that we needed to know that somebody told him something.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, according to the article, The Atlantic, that's what he said. Or actually, Boxing Scene, he said that he was told this.
Yeah, and so he's telling us
He's
like
telling
Tyson
us.
Fury's a gossip now. Like, why do we
I'm
need
like,
to know that somebody told him?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's why it's up for debate whether Tyson Fury is right to pull out because people could say, well, he has a right to pull out because he battered Deontay, he brutalized him in the second fight, so there's no need for a third fight anyway. I get that, but you have to also take into account the principle here is that he is obligated to a rematch clause. Both him and Wilder, they both agreed to a 2-way rematch going into the second fight. You still have
Listen,
to fulfill
yeah.
that. Number one, number two, the way his messaging coming across on him pulling out does not add up at all. It does not make any sense.
Um, to me, the principle of the matter and the honor of the matter is you need to fight Deontay Wilder because he didn't need to fight you. You weren't a
Right.
mandatory. He gave you two voluntary shots at it. Stop whining. Right? It's a worldwide pandemic. They're waiting for guys to come back and to fight. Like if you want to stay busy, fight. I don't mind it. Right? I'm not really. I want both guys when they fight to be in the top physical condition so that I and sharp and all this stuff so that I can enjoy the product, right?
Right.
So I'm not trying to have them cut corners, but at the same time, I don't need to have all this back and forth. Just get it to work it out between yourselves. Tell us what's going on, and I'm good. If he was to fight somebody in between, and they both agree to that they're going to fight somebody in between, um, that's on them. They're grown ass men. They can figure it out. I like both guys enough that I'll watch them fight some scrubs. Right? I watched them fight Sefer Safiri, Pianetta, Schwartz, Wallin, and whoever, whatever you think of Deontay Wilder's competition. I've already seen these fights, so it's not really gonna, it's not really a big deal for me to watch it again. But it's starting to feel like the Larry Holmes era a little bit to me, where the guys just can't get right. Right. So you have these fights in order for whatever reasons, and then the guys just lose, and so we never actually get undisputed.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was many reasons why we couldn't get the undisputed fights.
If I'm just saying, like Big John Tate, Tim Witherspoon, Greg Page, like all it, whatever.
Oh,
Just
those are very good heavyweights at the time,
yeah, I'm
man.
saying Mike Weaver.
They were very good opponents. They were very good
They were.
heavyweights.
It's just that WBA couldn't get right. So a guy would win the belt and then try to defend it before he fought Larry Holmes, and then he'd lose.
I
Right?
know that's what the problem was exactly. Or then you got Jerry Coetzee, who in South Africa was a huge draw over there. They couldn't get
Yeah.
that fight done because of the disputes, the fact that they couldn't get a
Yeah.
broadcast fight, and then you had what I heard that Jerry. I maybe I read this correctly that Coetzee wanted more for the purse. He wanted to be compensated more for in other words, it was an excuse to pull out of the Holmes fight. So it's like, yeah, it was. I mean, look, Larry Holmes pretty much beat all those heavyweights that all captured the belt and then end up losing it before they fought him. He eventually fought them anyway, with or without a belt. It beat those guys. But it's sad though he never fought them for a unification bout. That was a
Right.
problem.
Right,
Never
and
fought
that's
them.
what it's starting to feel like that. And it's not like those fights weren't good fights, also. And that's the other part of it. It's really just about the stakes at this point. And the issue with Wilder Fury trilogy to me is one of pandemic, right? And what do you do about it in this whole pandemic situation? So I'm not really gonna eat anybody's lunch.
Yeah, that's
I just
part
don't
of
like
it.
the psychological
Yeah,
warfare,
yeah,
right?
that's part of it. But he's talking about now he's got a fight lined up in the UK at the Royal Albert Hall. And
Yeah,
the opponent that they're talking about, Lucas Brown. And Lucas Brown's not even fucking rated by the WBC. If you want to be really logical about this, maybe add Kabayel. But again, so if it is Lucas Brown, somehow, some reason he gets a ranking by the WBC, will Fury get a pass for that? I say hell no, he shouldn't. If you're a Tyson Fury fan, you should not give him a fucking pass for that. Because first of all, if you're a Tyson Fury fan who says, we shouldn't even see the Wilder rematch anyway because he battered him in the second fight, you would agree with me that it'll be better to see Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder in the third fight opposed to seeing him fight Lucas Brown.
Is he fighting Lucas Brown? What's up, people? What's up, Dan? What's
What's
up,
up,
Smoke?
EJ? What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? All I'm saying is leave James Tony alone. That's all I got to say. Like,
Yeah, you're funny.
you guys are just it's just battering poor James Tony. He's gonna make it to the Hall this year. I hear that he's dominated. Just stop the James Tony slander.
Well,
That's all.
James Tony, what? James Tony's fighting Fury. What going? What going?
No,
What's,
he's
what's,
talking
Nah,
about Lucas Brown.
yeah. Like the
Luke,
reason why Lucas Brown is even mentioned.
Lucas Brown, he was lucky. Hey, you see that for James Tony busted his face up. It's lucky the fight he beat James Tony beat the shit out of him. It's in
I think
Australia.
James Tony won that fight.
Yeah, he won the fight. He won the fight because it was in Australia. James only busted up Lucas. Lucas is up, man. Busted him up. I watched the fight and I was like, yo, James is showing him nice. But listen, if he's what so is this? Because I ain't heard nothing from Wilder's camp. Is it because I'm hearing from over here, obviously in the UK, you hear from Aram and not Aram. I heard from Frank and stuff like that. But we ain't heard nothing from.
Well, Finkel came out.
Wilder's side. What's Wilder's side? Have they confirmed it? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. Wilder's team came out yesterday when the rumor came out that the fight was off completely.
What did they say?
Shelly Finkel came out and said that's not true. The fight is
Yeah.
still on for December 19th. That's what he said. That was about yesterday or 2 days ago.
But the fight's still on then. So what's everyone making up a fuss for about? Like,
Well, because Fury's coming out 2 days later saying that the fight is off because he
they're just
according to
driving. Go ahead.
according to him, I'm so sorry, man. Well, according to him, he said that they wanted to push the date again. He said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm moving on. But he's saying that I was told that they wanted to push the date. So I'm like, wait, hold up.
Oh, we're in October, right? So if the fight's in December, I think they're just coming out and just trying to think Farron was just coming out because I haven't heard Bob Arum say anything, right?
No,
so
Bob Harrison said nothing about it. All he said that the fight's
exactly,
still on.
Exactly. So he's just over here in the UK, like they're just trying to see whatever, trying to get them to jump or skip or to because you just see what's happening. Wilder's not saying nothing, and because he's not saying nothing, they're paranoid. So can they say the fight's off? And let's see if he can say, why are you saying shit? I know the fight's on. That's why I was like, yo, what do you mean the fight's off? The fight's on. That fight is set for December. The problem is they haven't heard nothing from Wilder's team, so they don't know what's going on. They're all scared. And Wilder's just constant in his training. I'm telling you, Wilder's gonna knock his ass out. Like look, Fury could never, ever in his life fight someone like Lucas Brown, bro. Like Dillian, everyone be all over him. So he has to fight Wilder. And like only when I hear from Wilder's team saying, yeah, we because and there's people coming out calling Wilder a coward. Yeah, he ducked the fight, and I'm like, yo, what
how did he duck the fight? Is Fury the one pulling out? So what the fuck are they talking about?
But I have to hear I have to hear officially from both sides to make evaluation. But really and truly, like, you know what I mean, people who don't like Wilder, they gonna jump on it. But I'm glad you're making a video about it. But Wilder's just sitting there, he know the contracts there, they know the contracts there. It's cast iron, they can't go nowhere. Eddie's trying to, oh, you need to fight AJ, we can get the AJ fight. That don't find me nothing until you get past Wilder. Wilder was the defending champion. There's doubt about the second fight. You know what I mean? The first fight was what it was. You know what I mean? And Wilder knows what he needs to do and stop clowning around, hanging out with his brother. And we're gonna get that fight on in December. If they say the fight's in November, December the 19th, then that's what it is until I hear from the Americans, Bob Arum, officially, or hear from anyone else. You know what I mean? And if you're putting like Lucas Brown and them guys, if Fury is talking about putting Lucas Brown in that, I mean, that's embarrassing, bro. That's real.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't see how any Fury fan would come out and give Fury a pass for that fight. I just can't. I mean, I take it back. There are going to be some people say, well, he deserves it because he's a lineal champion, a WBC champion. I mean, fuck all that. He came out of that fight unscathed. So why does he deserve to get a fucking Lucas Brown, deserve to fight Lucas Brown of all people? Lucas Brown hasn't even earned a shot. So what the fuck? I mean, give Otto Wallin a fucking rematch. I'd rather see that, even though he's not even rated by the WBC, but still. You know what I mean? But anyways, like I said though, man, I agree with your point, EJ. I think that we got to hear from Bob Aaron. He has to confirm this, and we got to hear from the Deontay Wilder's camp. I mean, look, Shayla Fink already came out yesterday, said the fight was on for December 19th. There's no pushbacks, there's no delays. So
if Fury needs to get, let's say they push it back, right? Let's say what he's saying is true. There's something to it, right? Let's say they push it back to stay busy. Do you think that Fury can get an unsanctioned fight right now?
no, I mean, unless he vacates the belt or decides to go franchise, that's probably what his motive is. Let me go franchise to fight Lucas Brown, for example. Then they can reinstate me as a full champion after that fight. That's possible. That's
Yeah,
possible.
this is starting to sound real political.
It is.
Procedures, unwritten
Yeah.
procedures that only the participants know about.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Champ Ross in the chat, man. So, Luis Ortiz is already scheduled to fight some heavyweight guy named Alexander something. The guy I never heard of, but he's off the table right now. L Dog said I made a list of guys that Fury could realistically fight. Andy Ruiz Jr. No, I don't see that happening. Good fight, but I don't see it happening right now. Because Andy Ruiz Jr. I think he's scheduled to fight Chris Ariella, from what I've been told. Oscar Rivas, not a bad fight, but Rivas is coming off a loss, well, a very very disputed loss, a controversial loss to Dillian White. We know what happened, all that shenanigans going on in that fight. But anyways, it is what it is. But he's coming off a loss, but still, I mean, getting the title shot coming off a loss. You guys know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. I'd rather see that fight than Tyson Fury fight Lucas Brown. Phil Herkovich, nah, too early, too soon. Herkovich, I don't know why he's so high on Herkovich, man. He's not ready for that fight. No, not for Tyson Fury. Michael Hunter, I would love to see that one. I don't think Fury would want to take that fight because Hunter is a very dangerous fight for Tyson Fury. Hunter could possibly win that fight. I still favor Fury to win it, but he could possibly win that one. Charles Martin, yeah, decent. I mean, decent opponent. Charles Martin's coming off a decent comeback after the Joshua loss. F.A. Jabba, no. I said that F.A. Jabba, he's regressing, man. I'm not impressed with Jabba right now. He's still got a lot of work to do. Adja Cabell, I guess that's realistic because he's rated 15th, but I don't think. I mean, he's more rated than Phil Herkovich, but other than that, no. What do you think about that list, EJ?
I got a better list.
All right, go ahead.
Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, Andy Joshua.
They both fight though. They got a fight coming up.
I know. But you see the list he's put here. Like Fury beats everyone here, man. He beats all them guys. They're like, I see.
Well, Michael Hunter would probably be more tougher one though.
Nah. Michael Hunter gets that work, bro. He's a small cruiserweight. He gets that work. What's up, these stars in the chat? Yeah. Nah, man. He gets that work, bro. That like Fury mows down all these guys here in the chat. But the thing is, they're like top rank. Like Luis Ortiz would have been a bit like, I know we can't make that fight, but that's the one. Luis Ortiz, them kind of guys there, that they ain't easy. You know what I'm trying to say? So I mean, Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, maybe they lose. They all lose anyway. And obviously the Andy Joshua fight, like that fight. I mean, that's the biggest fight over in the UK, but Hergovich, man. Hergovich is doing his thing though, you know. He
Yeah,
beating him.
and look, L Dog. Yeah, L Dog is really high on Philip Herkovich. He said he might beat Fury. What? Based on what?
Nah, he ain't gonna beat Fury. But you know the funny thing about like L Dog, L Dog, what are you gonna do, L Dog, when your boy goes down like the Titanic? Yeah, it'll be funny. Like if your boy loses, yeah, like you know what I'm saying, you can't ride with him no more. Because I remember people riding with Pulev years ago. They said Pulev was gonna be the number one guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hergovich is okay, but bro, like I like to see him versus Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? And one of them guys there. That's our
Well,
fighter.
speaking of L Dog, he's in the live stream. So what's up, L Dog?
What's up? Now, listen, I don't disagree that Fury is a heavy favorite in that fight, but I think one thing about Fury is he fights to the level of his opposition, and I think he might look at Hergovich and think, Klitschko kind of prototype kind of guy, like fights like them. I've already beat that style. And if he underestimates him, then it could be a very bad night because we do know Hergovich has a good amateur background. He's got good fundamentals. He's got big power, and he's got a chin, and he's got size. So it could be a long night for Fury if he underestimates him, and he could potentially lose that fight. Again, I'm saying Fury at his best right now will beat Hergovich.
Yeah, but that means you want the cocaine Fury, innit? The one who's
Nah, the Otto Wallin Fury.
yeah, that one, yeah, that the coke that
Well,
one.
the guy who didn't really train for that fight.
Nah,
that Fury.
he trained for that fight. I think he trained for that fight, but I know what he's trying to say. You don't know what Fury you're gonna get. Hergovich, is he the consummate professional? Has he been fighting the top-notch opponents, or is he getting guys to lie down? I don't know. Well, all I know is like the guys in the UK are trying to battle each other. Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. I feel if Hergovich needs to get into the thing, he needs to fight the winner out of that fight. And then
But he really wants to, EJ. Like, this is the thing with Hergovich. He comes from a small country, Croatia. That's why I support him, because my family's Croatian. But I support Hergovich, but he doesn't have a financial backing behind him. It's only a country of 4 million people, so there's not a. He got paid 15,000 to fight Eric Molina. He can't be offering big money to get these guys in with him, and who's going to want to risk their zero against a dangerous
he's in the
guy?
South. He's with the Sowlands. He's with the Sowlands.
Yeah, he's with Sowlands.
That's why. If he's with the Sowlands, that's why. Isn't it? If he was with, because the Sowlands, to be fair, they want things in their terms, and other promoters want things in their terms. So you have to sacrifice. Remember, again, that's their big golden goose. So to get a fight with Hergovich, you gotta kind of give up stuff, or you have to be in a position, and that's what boxing is. Boxing is about chess.
Well, yeah, he is a little bit. They're actually being more careful with him, because after that Eric Molina fight, that was a little bit of a scare, because he was getting hit in that fight, a lot. That's most I've ever seen Herkovich get hit by, and nobody expected him to get hit by Molina like that, because we thought Molina wasn't going to be going in competitive. They thought he was going to just lie down, which I think he kind of did, but he still fought to where he hurt Herkovich a few times in that fight.
He didn't hurt him.
Oh, he hurt him. He hurt him in that fight.
Nah, he didn't hurt him, bro. Come on.
Hergovich
knocked him down that same round.
But he hurt him at the same time.
And you listen to that interview, I think...
Yeah, you know exactly what he's talking about. He was
I do, because I've watched that fight maybe 10 or so times, bro. But in all honesty, Hergovich, he said he didn't respect his power, so he just wanted to walk him down and smash him. Pause.
Well,
that got to
hey,
do with
Neutral, what's up with Neutral?
Yeah,
Neutral Natural says that, wait, Herkovich ain't fought nobody yet. Well, I mean, look,
that's true. That's
well,
true.
To be fair though, I'll be fair to Philip Herkovich though. Look, I think in his 6th or 8th pro fight, he fought Amir Mansour. Then after that, he fought Eric Molina. So you got to give him credit for that. Those are good learning fights.
Not really. Amir Mansour was done, bro. I saw the fight. He was done. He was coming off losses. Amir Mansour. I think he lost to the African guy, Ndongo, or whatever his name is.
F.A. Jabba. That was the last fight. That was the last fight.
Not F.A. The other one. The other one who Brazil knocked out. The other African dude was supposed to be nice.
It's Ugano.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's not like the guy from MMA.
Yeah. No, he's from Poland. No, he's from Poland.
No, he didn't lose to him. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Amir Mansour lost to him, bro.
No, he didn't fight him. I'm looking at his resume right now. He fought Sergey Kuzmin, Travis Kaufman, Brazil, and Gerald Washington.
Who's that? Who did Amir Mansour? He lost to a fight before the Hergovich fight. He lost
after to Ajagba.
He did lose to Ajagba. Who did he lose before that though?
Hergovich.
Nah,
No.
he lost. He lost the Cunningham. I think it was Cunningham. He lost on points. He lost.
Well, he
He
lost
lost
the points against
Oh, he
Cunningham.
lost on Cunningham a few
Yeah.
years earlier.
Yeah, but
But
he lost. Yeah, but he lost the fight. That's what I'm saying. So he coming into the fight, and he's a small southpaw, and like he come into the fight, he wasn't. He's old. Like he was like I don't know,
He
40
was like
something.
46 years
Yeah,
old when he
Yeah,
fought
like
Monty
him.
he's
was old.
old, man. He
Monty
was
was old.
old. Like he came out of prison. Hergovich did what he was supposed to do. But what we're saying is that against top elite competition, is he gonna do it? Like I gotta admit, I know he fights like Vitaly. Like I like Vitaly. Vitaly, he fights like that. But at this point in time, he's not trying to make his name known as like thing. I think he's doing what the Klitschko did before, just waiting around, letting these guys beat each other up, and then he's trying to lay claim to the roost. You know what I mean? When these guys beat the shit out of each other, I think he's trying to do that. How old is he? How old is he, by the way? 20 what? Is he 20?
28.
25.
28.
Oh,
He's
okay.
28?
he's 28, but this is his plan.
Yeah.
After he fights Rydal Booker, the Sauerlands are entering him in the new IBF tournament. Like, because you know how Kubrat Pulev is about to get his mandatory shot. There's a new one that had Charles Martin, Gerald Washington fight. They're going to enter him in that. And apparently they've made offers to guys in the top 15. Knowing the Sauerlands is probably fucking Tom Schwartz because they've got German connections and
Yeah.
he's in the top 15.
Hey, well, speaking of Herkovich, is he ducking Babbage, man? Because it seems like he's staying away from him.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah, Babbage is yeah, that's crazy. But wait, but Gerald Washington and Charles Barton fought. What tournament are you talking about?
No, there's like an eliminator tournament, and I think they're looking for another bout that they're supposed to enter. Like, they fought in an eliminator, and now it's, Hergovich is looking to fight someone.
Charles Martin would be good. I think Charles Martin will do him, you know.
Yeah, Charles Martin has a good chance of beating
I
Herkovich.
like Hergovich, but he's
Nah,
yeah, he's seasoned. You see Charles Martin. Everyone says he's whack and that. He's not now. He's not. He's a southpaw.
I agree.
He can hit. And then you see the thing with that Kaneki fight, it was backwards and forward, but Kaneki got knocked out. You know the fight that Hergovich needs to fight if he wants to make waves is the Nordic warrior. What's his name again? What's that guy?
Yeah,
Robert
Hellenius. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. That they let that rip. That needs to happen. Nice.
Well, Ladius is on a very good hot streak, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he's
really-
dangerous right now.
Be the best at say, bro. Hergovich, that's the one. That was set because the guy that's beat Kaneki, he beats him. Yeah, you right in the picture. That's the fight they should be looking for. But I haven't heard him call them out. I mean, that's a good fight for him. You know what I mean? Dillian went through him. Derek, lost on, but most guys, if they're good enough, they can beat that guy. And that guy's big. So if you want to make a name for yourself, that's the guy to beat.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
agree.
I agree. Good point.
But
Go
back
ahead.
to the main topic about Fury, like that Lucas Brown shit, man. If he fights Lucas Brown, that's going to be the mismatch of the century.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he shouldn't be fighting him because, first of all, again, I know some people are going to say, well, he deserves it because he's a lineal champion. He just got the WBC belt and the Ring Magazine belt, and he deserves a tune-up on Lucas Brown. Well, first things first, he didn't take damage in the second Wilder fight, so he came out of that fight unscathed, pretty much. So why should he be worthy of getting a tune-up? He should get in here with another top competitor. Hell, Robert Alanius, since we brought him up in the conversation, he's more worthy of a shot at the title, in my view.
Yeah.
If he should fight anybody December 5th, fight Robert Alanius. Get that fight going. I'd rather see that.
Average Robert
Well,
and Hergovich. The Europeans, they should. That's the European free. Babish should be in there because you see the thing about Babish, yeah. Regardless of how you think he's skillful, this, that, the other, the man wants to fight you, and it's like it's an easy fight. Hergovich is like, yeah, I'll take him, no problem, bro. Let's get it on because he's garnering attention. He's calling your name. He's living off your name. So if I'm Hergovich, I'm like, nah, I'm not having that, bro. This guy trying to clout chase me. I should go for him, but he doesn't. He goes, you need to do something. I'm like, yo.
No, you know what it is?
Go ahead.
They're waiting for crowds to reopen in Croatia because it can sell out like an arena there, like a football arena there. So they're waiting to get that money.
I don't know about that. I don't think.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I don't know how realistic is that fight even going to take place in Croatia. I don't think they can even get licensing rights over there. That'd be tough to do.
No, they can't. But when it comes to Fury and his fans, they try and cradle him too much, man, saying he deserves this fight. But like you said, the lineal champion. If you're the lineal champion, you got to fight like the lineal champion. You got to fight opponents deserving to
Right.
challenge for that. And in my opinion, unless he's willing to pay someone like, I don't know, Usyk, like, just say fuck your fight with Chisor or fight me. That's a worthy opponent compared to someone like a Lucas Brown.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. I definitely agree with you saying there. Now, here's the thing, though, that kind of makes Fury kind of somewhat look bad in the situation because, again, there's conflicted situations. He says he was told that they wanted to push the fight back, so he decides that, okay, I'm not fighting then if they want to push it back. And then we haven't heard anything from Frank Warren or Bob Arum about the situation as of today. We haven't heard about it. Okay, yesterday, Shelly Finkel came out, or 2 days ago, Shelly Finkel came out and said the fight was still on for December 19th. So who's telling the truth here? What's going on in this situation? Another thing, if Fury is going to really pull out, he is notorious for pulling out immediate rematch. He not only now did this to Wilder twice, he did this to Klitschko 2 or 3 years ago. So this guy really got to get called out for this. Why you continue to pulling out immediate rematches when you're obligated to do them? Why?
Oh, okay.
Why you keep?
All right. So one thing. For it's not confirmed that he's done it to Wilder twice, right? He
Yeah,
definitely did it
yeah,
to once. He definitely
he
did
did
it
it once.
once.
Yeah,
And he definitely did it to Vlad,
let's go.
to the
Yeah,
point that they actually sold tickets to the Vlad fight. So that's one real bad pullout. If the tickets were already on sale, people bought tickets and then you pulled out after.
yeah,
That's real bad. But I will say this: if regardless of the confusion, like I think he's already lost the PR battle by saying they wanted to push it back, so I've moved on. That's just terrible optics. Like you didn't go to confirm, you just heard something
yeah,
and then made
exactly.
plans on what somebody told you. Like, come on, dude. Let's do some diligence. Let's get a call back, something like that.
Well,
Let's get some
it's funny though
confirmation.
because he cited that according to sources they said that they cited the contract expiration date that Wilder's team didn't fulfill. They didn't meet that deadline in time, and then it turns out based off the PR situation, as you say, they retracted that. Said, "Oh, no, never mind. The fight still is going to go on either way. It may not happen this year, but it's still going to happen."
Yeah, like I think he would have been better by just saying, "Yeah, this is a big fight. We want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to enjoy it. Tens of millions of dollars are on the line for a crowd, so I want to stay busy." And I think everybody would be okay with it because that's the world we live in. But this kind of stuff
Yeah,
back and forth, it just seems like I don't know. It's unnecessary. If actually what you
yeah.
even if you wanted to just get out of the fight, it's way better. You have a better excuse than what you're using.
Right. Shout out to Jeff Box in the chat though. Another thing too is that he brought up the Vladimir Klitschko situation, and very good point. When Fury, he ducked the rematch, he pulled out 3 times, right? And Vladimir Klitschko was patiently obliging to this dude pushing back the date, and then all of a sudden he retires. That's some fucked up shit right there. I know he had that drug cocaine situation. We all kind of moved up beyond that, but at the same time, Tyson Fury kind of fucked himself out of that situation. All right, he has no one else to blame, but himself in that situation. But it's kind of like he being a hypocrite here. Okay, if he is really gonna do what he's doing right here, pull out. You can't come out and say that you're wild as cow. He's a disgrace for trying to change the date up on me. Why you did it to Vladimir Klitschko 3 times? 3 times you did it to Vladimir Klitschko. So don't fucking sit there and be a hypocrite about it. You did it to Wilder once. All right, pulling out of fucking immediate rematches, pushing dates back, pulling out fights at the last minute like he did with David Price. It did with Alexander what was it the Ustinov, Alexander Ustinov. So you can't sit there and be a hypocrite about it. So as you to your point, Smoke, I think this is a bad PR mistake for him to come out and say I'm done with I'm moving on. In actuality, that's not based off unanswered questions. That might not be the entire truth why he's pulling out. You know, people catch on to this shit real quickly. And you know what I'm saying? People will be answering. There's some questions you need to answer. You're saying that you were told this, but yet you're pulling out. Why? Why didn't you confirm this with Wilder's team? Because a day ago, Shelly Finkel said that the fight's still on. So why are you pulling out the day after he said that? Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So let me look at the chat here. So what's it? Jeff says that Jeff Boxing says that Fury is a fraud. If he fights Lucas Brown, he's been back for 3 years and only fought Wilder. Laney is a solid cause. Naki was top 10.
Yo, Dad.
What's up?
Yeah, your
What
voice.
up,
Your voice sounds like an old woman, man. You got some static when you're talking.
So static. Okay. All right. Let me clear that up. My bad, man. Let me clear that up. Yeah, but like I said though, I'm just saying that Fury's is a hypocrite, man. How's that sound? Sound better?
Yeah, it sounds better now. No one says anything. I just let you crack along, you know.
Oh my bad.
I didn't know it was me. Like I thought it was you earlier, and then my phone died. So then I thought,
Oh
okay,
my
that whole
bad,
casting is
man.
me.
Oh my bad, dog.
Sounds
Sometimes
better.
you can't speak too fast with the microphone because the microphone needs to catch up with the voice pattern. So that's
Is
what
that
it
what
is.
it is? Oh, that's what it is. Oh, it sounds better
Yeah,
now. Sounds better now.
yeah, that's what it is.
I was like, you making some really good points. I was like, yo, my man's crispy. I thought you was frying. I thought you was frying eggs on the frying pan.
All right, well, let me repeat myself because Jeff Boxing got a point here. Because if Fury's gonna come out and say that Wilder's duck, he doesn't want to fight because he's pushing a fight back, this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, didn't you do that to Klitschko? You did it 3 times with Klitschko, then you retired.
That's right.
So don't sit there and be a hypocrite about it. You pulled out of that rematch. You pulled out of the Wilder rematch back in 2018, 2019. You pulled out of that one, and then
Yeah,
you pulled out of David Price. You pulled out of fights with Alexander Ustinov. So what the fuck?
he said you want to fight David Price. He made all the excuses in the book, and then with the Vladimir Klitschko one, you're 100% right. That was a very people talk about he schooled Klitschko his own country, bruv. That was a close fight, bruv. That was a close fight. 1 round or 2, Klitschko, because it wasn't a landslide he won. It was a very close fight, and he didn't. And I remember when I talked to Fury about him, he was looking forward to the rematch. But what Klitschko was trying to do, they were trying to weigh him out. They were trying to play games. You know what I mean? They didn't want to give it immediate rematch. So they messed themselves up. They tried to mess Klitschko, Fury around, and Fury said, "Okay, you trying to mess me around? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to vacate the belt." So I was happy that Fury did that at that point, right? But now looking back at it, because Klitschko would have then took regain of the heavyweight championship again. I didn't want that, man. I didn't want that. So
we all agree we didn't want Klitschko to win that title back, but still at the same time, based off the principle, is that Klitschko obliged and agreed, gave him leeway to push back the date, and then all of a sudden he retires on. That's some fucked up shit.
But that Klitschko was playing around because you see what happened with Fury. The date took too long. I goes to Fury when you fight. I don't know. They don't. I'm waiting on them. So Fury was waiting around waiting around. And while he was waiting around, he was getting
I don't believe he was waiting around. He was just getting fucked up.
Nah, bro. I remember when the interview, he was waiting around for ages. I remember it was a Nick Blackwell fight, and he went to watch that fight. That was their friend Nick Blackwell, and then Eubank beat the shit out of Nick Blackwell, put him in the hospital. Fury was around that time, and I goes, bro, it's been like I put at that point it was like 5-6 months down the track, and I was like, yo, when's this rematch supposed to happening? And now you're looking at the Wilder thing. Wilder, if you look at this with the rematch with the Wilder, like they got a set date, and they're trying to say, oh, they're trying to push it back, or who's really trying to push back? Because we haven't heard from the other side. So maybe Fury's team is trying to make up lies here to try and get away with it so they can make the Joshua fight to make the big money. But the bottom line is there's no crowd. So what's going on? You know what I mean? There's no crowd out here. So
Well, even if they try to make the Joshua fight, they're not even close. I mean, the fight's not going to happen this year. That's more likely not going to happen next year. So what are they talking about, Joshua fight?
They want to fight Lucas Brown and fight bums and just hold the belt and wait for Joshua fight to get the big money.
And that's a fucked up situation too, because Joshua's got to go through dangerous man. He's got to go through tough opponents. I mean, Kulev is still a tough opponent on paper. He is. Okay, Pulev could give him a tough fight, and Joshua, mind you, is coming off an injury. So we got to see how how well he looks in that fight.
That same Pulev was kissing that girl, Jenny, fishy,
sushi,
yeah,
fishy sushi. Like, nah, he struggled that last. That fight was brutal. That fight took a lot out of it. Who was the guy he had to fight? It was a war.
Rydell Booker.
Yeah, man, that was a war.
He turned it up at the end. That was a good
one. No, there was a Rydell Booker. It was Bogdanino. That was the guy. He turned it up at the end again. Yeah, it was Dino.
Is that Dino?
Yeah, it was Dino. Yeah.
This part, I've actually got someone who's betting me that Pulev is gonna beat AJ. Man, it's free fucking money.
Yeah, it's free.
AJ is he's dead certain that Pulev is gonna knock out AJ.
Why would he be dead certain that Pulev is gonna fight AJ?
It's JFL.
JFL. Oh no, the dude who believes Andy Garcia is undefeated, even though he's got losses on the record.
No, factual rounds.
But am I mistaken? Didn't they already fight?
Yeah.
What are they fighting for? Why would they fight again?
Who?
Pulev and Povetkin. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I got it mixed up.
AJ.
Pulev and AJ. You're talking about
They
the
fight in
upcoming
December.
fight. The
Oh yeah, I want to
Yeah.
talk to you guys about
Okay,
that. Yeah, I want to
Now,
talk
now I'm
to you guys
I'm
about
off
that
guard.
real quickly.
Hold up.
Hold
Unbiased
up,
says
hold
L
up, guys.
Dog is a Fury fanboy.
Oh,
Bro, I ain't a fanboy of Fury. I've already told people I'm a Hergovich fanboy. And I'll
here's
own
our
that
bias
shit.
right now. But hey, real quickly though, before I'll give it off to unbiased though. But let me ask you guys a question in the UK. EJ and well, who else is from the UK?
Oh,
L
me.
Dog.
I'm from New Zealand.
That's the same shit.
Nah, it sort of is when it comes to boxing.
New Zealand wishes. Junior Fine, Joseph Parker though
Nah. I
is going
mean,
to be
like the same
that should be a good
fighters
fight.
that are popular in the UK are popular in New Zealand. Like the only fights we get on TV are Matchroom.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But
because you got
Yeah.
Sky. Because
hell,
it's a
hey,
Sky
we
thing.
they're down under, man. They're the other side of the world. Hell no, we're not the same. They're more in Asia than more Europe, man. Come on, man. Yeah, but I understand though. But L Dog's European anyway because he's got Croatia going in. But what's the question,
Yeah.
Dan? What's the question? Dan? His connection probably pulled out, man. What's up? What's the unbiased?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like typical Fury, bro, trying to fight, bum after bum. You know, just this is what he does, right? He came back, he fought Sefer Safari.
Yeah.
What was the other bump? Penyatta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Otto Wallin, Schwartz. This is what he does, bro.
Yeah.
I thought fighting Vlad made you not a bum. You're automatically good because you fought Vlad.
Yeah, but he battled bad, but he's like that was a squeak through, and then he got okay. He fought. He don't fight all bums now. He fights some good, but most of the
I was talking about Pianetta. I was just talking about Pianetta.
Oh,
sorry about that.
That's all,
guys.
not Fury. I was saying like you can't call Pianetta a bum because he fought Vlad.
Yeah. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I got cut off there for momentarily. But I was going to ask EJ a question real quickly. And I know Hamed's in the chat, but maybe he can respond to this as well. So, Joshua and Pulev.
Hamid's from Wales, though. Hamid's from Wales, by the way. He ain't.
Well, the UK, though. It's the same thing, right? UK.
Hamid's far away, but go on. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, that's the UK. That's UK territory. But, anyways.
Far away. I'm in Cali. And L Dog's in New Zealand.
I'm playing Hamid. I'm playing. But go ahead, Dan.
No, I was going to ask you guys. Joshua Pulev, the pay-per-view price is £40, which is about $52 in the US.
Nah. That was a fake account. That was a fake.
Nah, it ain't no £40. What's up, these stars?
So
how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, what's
D, what's up, man?
Nah, that's not. It's the question to answer your question. Yeah, before D Stars jumps in. Nah, they could never do £40 in the UK.
Okay.
Nah. Even Mayweather and Pacquiao. Yeah, was it Mayweather and McGregor? And I think it was like 29.
20.
That's the max. 29. That was the max. They couldn't because remember UK we pay other rates on our Sky, so that
right because you guys pay like $30-$40 for the Sky.
Other things, it mounts up to about near 100, so it could never charge that much. But that'd be raping people. But no, that's I don't know where that came out from. But go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. I thought so that wasn't because Hamed posted in the private chat, so I thought that was
He's
real.
That's why I said to you. He's from Wales. That's what Hamed. I told you. But go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. BG London says that is £25, so he got it correct. Okay, cool. Fair enough, guys. Fair enough. Proceed. Did Bias get to come in and chime in real quickly? I know D just got in real quickly. So Bias, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on, D? Nah, yeah, I saw what I had to say. Fury, this is kind of typical. Tough fight, then bum bash a little bit, then have another tough fight. So, I mean, it kind of goes along with the storyline of Tyson Fury. I'm not really shocked or surprised, so it is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough, man. So you think he's lying here? He's just pulling some shenanigans to get out of rematch so he can take some easy fights?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely possible. With Tyson Fury, he's definitely pulled out of fights before. Definitely goes in line with his history. So if that was the case, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm waiting to see what Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder are saying about it before I just cast judgment. I want to get both sides of the story first.
I agree because they got to come out and address this because 2 days ago Finkel came out and said the fight was still on. Then today Fury comes out and says I've been told that they want to push back the date, so I'm pulling out.
Yeah, but I heard Wilder. Did Wilder really say he hasn't been training though? Somebody said that.
Well, he gave a podcast interview last week or something like that. That he was referring to the rematch where the second fight where he didn't really train because he had a bicep injury. To me, let me just say this: as a Wilder fan, I don't necessarily believe that because I mean, look, I'm not denying the fact that he's had issues with that bicep. He's always had issues with it. I think Wilder's had bad habits. I think it caught up to him and it paid a price for it in the second fight. That's just my view. I think he's just trying to use that as a smoke screen, but that's what he was referring to, not being able to train. All right. So that's my take on it. But other than that, is he the one pulling out of this fight? You know, we can agree he's not pulling out of the rematch. I don't know. I mean, is he pushing back the date? We got to hear it from him or his team. We got to figure it. We got to figure that out.
All right. So here's the situation. So from what I understand, I'm
Mhm.
not saying I know everything. I'm definitely late to the party to this topic. However, from my understanding, they're looking to do a fight in December. Fury is, and if for whatever reason Wilder's team or whatnot, which we don't know a lot, that they're not talking a lot. Wilder's not saying anything. He hasn't said anything in months. You know, really. So if Fury's like, I want to fight in December. If it's not going to be you, then let me know now so I can fight somebody in December. Then I don't have a problem with that, personally.
Right.
You know, as long as they still do the rematch. If Wilder for whatever reason doesn't want it in December or it doesn't feel ready, whatever it is, I completely accept that. But I'm okay with Fury fighting somebody else in December if Wilder is not ready to fight in December, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's acceptable, but don't fight a Lucas Brown. You're not getting away with that. Don't fight fucking Lucas Brown and don't fight the other that came about, Dave Allen. Do not fight them. If you fight either one of them, you gonna get it from me. I don't give a damn that you came off a second fight with Wilder. You came out of that fight unscathed. All right. You didn't take no damage in that fight, so there's just no excuse for that. You don't defend your titles against those guys. They haven't deserved
Well, he's
it.
got to stay active for sure, though, right?
Yeah, he's got to
So,
stay
yeah, but
active.
if he wants to stay active and fight Lucas Brown, as long as he has every intention of fighting, you know, Wilder or an AG after that, I honestly don't have a problem with it. I just got to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
if he wants to have like a homecoming fight,
the only problem is they try to scapegoat Wilder in the meantime, right? They're trying to say that it's Wilder that's trying to pull out, so Fury has no choice but just to stay active, right? And it just smacks of convenience that it just so happens to be the other guy's fault that your needs get met, right? It's the other guy's fault that you're getting your needs met.
Especially when you're the one with the history, right?
We got some fake news in the chat. Hamed says David Hay pulled out twice against Tyson Fury. He didn't get pulled out, bro. He got busted up by an 18-year-old rising sensation, Filip Hrgović, in training camp. You can Google that.
Cut over
He
the
admitted
eye,
that.
baby. Cut over the eye.
Cut over the eye with with a hard right hand that David Hay, from my sources, he actually was crying at the corner of the ring when he was getting his wraps taken off, bro, because he was in so much pain.
That was
right.
That was definitely the first time Hrgović got prospect to watch, and 10 years later, he's still the prospect to watch.
Yeah.
But he still hasn't fought anybody. You know, his best opponent is David Hay in training camp till this day.
Hey, Hamed wasn't jump on, but I know he's trying to, I let him have his piece on it because I know he's trying to somewhat justify Fury pulling out. The fight is pulling out.
Well, look, I'm not here to justify anything. I'm just a facts-oriented guy, right? Like whatever the facts show me, that's how I go. That's how I don't pull for one guy or the other.
Well, not you, D-Style. Talk about Hamed.
Well, no. I'm
okay.
You know, I'm just giving that disclaimer before I say the following, right?
Right.
I need to hear more from Wilder, bro. I just do. Like we've been hearing a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of excuses, a lot of reasonings, a lot of this, a lot of that. But I can't hear anything from Wilder himself, right? A lot of, well, I heard this and I heard that. Somebody in Wilder's team said this and that, right? Oh, he has a dent in his head. Now the dent mysteriously, disappeared, for example, right? Like, I need to just hear something from Wilder. Can Wilder please come out? Will the real Deontay Wilder please stand up? Please stand up and please tell us where you stand on this. If you want this fight, come out and say, no, you ain't going nowhere. I want a piece of you. I want my trilogy. Okay, that's what I want. Then you gather your troops. Then your troops got a reason, okay, to fight for something and argue for something. Dude, where is this guy? Like, why can't he make it clear? He's promoting, shooting guns from a gun manufacturer. He's got time to do that. He's got time to twerk. He's got time to do a lot of things, but he doesn't have time to come out and just give me a simple line. I want to fight him again. I want it in December. Don't run from me, Fury. Like, do something. That's all I'm saying.
If I can respond to that, that is exactly what Fury wants, right? So if I'm Wilder, I'm like, sit and spin and wait. I have a contract. I don't care what you're trying to do. Like, because all this is Fury saying I said something when Wilder ain't saying nothing. So this is just supposed to combat the PR push that Fury does. If Wilder had something to say, that's one thing. But just to respond to what Fury's got going on in social media, man, whatever. Go sponsor gun manufacturers. Yeah, do something else at the time.
That's falling into Fury's games, bro, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to say shit, make you have a reaction, say more shit. No, I think silence is actually saying a lot for Wilder in this time.
Nah, it's not. Look, when I'm hearing a lot of the stuff I'm hearing from Wilder fans, a lot of the excuses I'm hearing, a lot of stuff I've heard that Breland, drugged him and stuff like that, right? And I'm hearing and I don't hear Wilder one time come out and say it's not just about what Fury's saying.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you say these but still hold on. Hold on.
Like the Crow. You ever see WCW? You ever see Sting when he turns himself into the Crow Sting?
Is that what it is?
That's what Wilder's doing. Like he's basically keeping silent, and he's like, bruh, I'm gonna keep silent for a year. I'm not gonna talk.
Okay, so he could stay silent while the perception is that he doesn't want the third fight then. Yeah, if he wants to allow that perception to be, then let it be. You know what I mean? If he wants that, then he can let that be then.
Hold on. BJ London has a good point though. He said, "Look, Shelly Finkel is the mouthpiece, so he is speaking on behalf of Wilder at least. So if he says the fight's still going ahead, it's going ahead." He said that 2 days ago.
Okay, so, well, look, if it's going ahead, that's good. I want to see the third fight. Okay. You know what I mean? I actually give Wilder a better chance than most people do. I'm favoring Fury, but I still give Wilder a really good chance. He's a big monster puncher, and we know he could hurt Fury. We know he's dropped him twice, etc. However, I'm telling you right now, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't care who this upsets, that he does not want that third fight right now. It's not out of the realm of possibility. He took a beating in that second fight. Right? Yeah, he's the one that needs to make it really crystal clear. I need to hear from the horse's mouth, not the horse's ass. I don't care what Fink was saying right now. I just need Wilder to just come out real simple. Okay? I don't care where, just come out and just say it. I want Fury again. I don't
think he needs to say it again. He wanted the rematch after, like Kelly Finkel's already come out of it. And at this point right now, people were saying that about Fury when Wilder, the first fight happened. People was like, I don't know if Fury wants that rematch. Look where he's got his face busted up. But Fury took the rematch and it happened. Look, the fight's marked for December. We're in October. The training camp's going on. We ain't heard nothing. I don't think he needs to come out and say anything. His spokesman's come out and said the fight's going to happen on the date. And that's what's going to happen.
So why did the deadline pass? How's
the deadline pass, though? What do you mean the deadline?
Well, this is according. Hold on. This is not me. This is Coppinger. Coppinger said the deadline to come up with an agreement has already passed.
Yeah, that was later refuted though, because Tyson Fury's come out and said, "I was told they wanted to extend the date. I was told that the deadline expired." So that doesn't make any sense if he's saying that. Number one. Number two,
I'm not refuting it, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the point is that Fury is the one who's coming out saying that I was told that they wanted to push back the date, and I'm not going for it. That's why I want to move on.
There's been one article written about what Wilder said after the fight, and there's been two videos actually made by Wilder since the fight. None of that stuff has been received well. The first article was about how he blamed the loss on the costume, which he never did, right? The second one was about the George Floyd, and everybody accused him of like being self-serving and trying to sell hoodies to enrich himself, right? Like he needs $50,000 more to add on to the $70 million he made.
But the sales were going to Black Lives Matter, I think.
They're also like he's sitting there dancing with his wife and family, and everybody calls him a male stripper, right? So if I'm Wilder, I'm looking at the media landscape and the voice of the people. I don't need to say nothing. I don't. Exactly. I really don't get what the point is for Wilder coming out and adding more fuel to this fire.
Can I say something after that?
Let's do it. Let Fury stoke these flames.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bias. Go ahead, man.
I'm actually agree with Smoke. If I'm Wilder, Fury's bread and butter is mind games. So why am I playing his games? That's what he wants. That's what he likes to do. So feeding into it, I don't understand why I would do it. Personally, I wouldn't. So I get the not responding thing, but I also get the fans wanting to hear, a response. Like I get from both angles. But if I'm Wilder, I'm probably not going to do that because guess what? Wilder did that before the rematch, and we saw what happened.
Right. He
He
did a lot more
literally did
talking.
that.
Yeah, I
Like
agree with Bias.
exactly. He literally responded to everything Tyson Fury said on social media for the second rematch. And then we saw what happened in the second rematch. So if I'm him, I'm just going to ignore everything and then, just fight him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Bias. Bias have a bit of point here because to me, Wilder did a lot more talking than training, and that's pretty evident. That's exactly what he did, and that's a mistake. You don't do that. You don't feed into everything that he says to you. You can't. That's exactly what he wants. He wants you to be. That's how he wins his fights, off reactionary responses, and he gets guys rattled, and that gets them rattled
But
to the point that
that's
they,
not. I mean, look, man. I agree, and I understand that mind games is a part of boxing, but that's not why he beat Wilder in the rematch. He didn't beat him because he got in his head and all that. He just
oh
beat him.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Get
And
him in
part of
that
that is
night,
because Wilder
you
didn't
know.
properly train for that fight. We all know that. That's what I'm saying. Though. What I'm saying is that he didn't really train for that fight. That's well evident because now he's coming out saying that he had the bicep injury that prevented him from training, which I really
Look,
don't believe.
I'm not saying do a WWE style promo on Fury and start going back and forth with him on social media. It's simple. Just do a simple interview and say, "Oh, we're gonna fight. We're
Nah,
gonna fight again in December." That's all he has
nah.
to say.
Yeah, when fight week he'll do that. And furthermore, I disagree. I really disagree with you, but I disagree on this one. Wild Fury got in his head, bro. He got in his head. He got in his head on the stage when he was saying, "Oh, I remember when I knocked you down." And Wilder rolled up and then Fury pushed him and threw him across when they was on the stage. Threw him across the stage, and he set the tone from then. And he said, "I'm gonna walk up to you. I'm gonna bring the fight to you." And when he did that in the fight, Wilder was shook. He blatantly got in his head.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
inside of
big time.
Wilder's head. He's inside Wilder's head rent free,
yeah.
and that's
And look, Gregor
that's how
put his
hey,
head.
Yo,
He
he
put
did
his
it. He
hand
got to
on
his head.
Wilder's head,
That's why
right?
Wilder's not
One at a time, guys.
responding.
One at a time. Go
That's,
ahead, EJ.
that,
Finish
that,
it.
1 minute, let me finish. That's
Yeah,
why
go ahead.
Wilder is not responding, and he don't have to do what because this guy and Frank Warner said something. They know the fight's happening, right? Obviously, us as the public, like, you ain't taking the fight, you pussy. They know we're gonna react and be on this shit, and they're sitting there watching us like puppet. But I'm like, yo, I know the fight's happening. You know, Wilder's never turned down a fight ever. So why would he not turn down? He don't have to come out and say that. His spokesman's come out and say that. He's just playing mind games, and I think he's doing the right thing now. We debating about it, but the bottom line is, yeah, they gonna fight. We
That's
gonna
right.
find out. We will find out.
Yo,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
thing
Can
is
Fair enough.
also,
can I,
Good
I just
point.
wait real quick, L Dog. I just want to say, like, yeah, Fury definitely got into Wilder's head, bro. Because when Fury said, "Oh, I'm gonna walk you down. I'm coming to fight. I'm gonna meet you in the middle of the ring," Wilder didn't believe him. You could see that, and that's exactly what Fury did. And once Fury did that, you could tell that his whole character, Wilder's whole character, his whole mannerism switched. So that's what I'm saying. Like the mind games is what Fury does. Like he did it to Klitschko too. So I mean, it's better, in my opinion, not to play into it because fighting, it does mental, the aspect of it does matter.
I
Yeah, you know
agree,
what?
but
It is. I agree. I'll let you a second, held dog. Let me say this though. Some people kind of brought this to my attention. It kind of made me think. It doesn't mean that I don't believe Tyson Fury in this situation because it kind of goes back to the Usmanov situation because when the Usmanov fight got made, I remember Fury. I think that was a last minute fight, whatnot. Fury was trying to get into Usmanov's head. He was trying to, berate him, talk all kinds of shit to him. And Usmanov doesn't speak English, so he didn't know how to react to that. And then when Fury couldn't get to him, then all of a sudden he pulls out of the fight and says, "I have to, I can't do the fight because my relative died." So some people like, nah, they didn't believe that 1 second. Some people said, nah, because you couldn't get to Usman's head, you pulled out. You thought this guy was going to come in there, he was going to beat you. He was in shape, he was ready to go, he was hungry. That's what Tyson Fury saw in Usman. That's what people were saying. That's the reason he pulled out. I'm just saying though. My point is,
Okay, let me get to this. So there
oh
is no
damn it,
doubt.
man.
Go ahead.
go ahead,
Yeah,
dog.
I just want to add a quick thing. Like I think Wilder. There's a lot of talk about him changing his team. You know what? I think he would benefit from a sports psychologist, and it's not because I think he's mentally weak and all that, but I think a lot of the principles of what they teach might help him. Because the guy in my profile picture right now, Lomachenko, he's been working with a sports psychologist since his second Olympics, and I like some of the stuff he said. Like, people ask him about Lopez. He says, I can only focus on what I'm going to do. You know, I can only tick the boxes. And I think that's the mentality that Wilder needs. Stop focusing on what Fury's going to do. Focus on what you can do. And I also like what he said about, I don't want to talk anymore. I only want to act. I think Wilder, if he had a little bit of that more, like someone to tell him these things, to stop focusing on Fury, focus on what you can do, I think that would benefit him greatly.
Dude,
You just notice how he had to bring up Lomachenko, bro. Just notice that.
Dude, but Lomachenko's had like 500 fights. I'd have a sports psychology in my head as well. Do you know how much trauma that man's been through? Like, just getting through them amateur career and then turning pro. Like, that's why he needs that. Because in the day, there's certain things the mentality to do, like, to how many hundreds of fights, bro. That's takes some real willpower. So yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back real quickly. EJ, take over for me.
I
Hold up, guys. Hold up, guys. EJ, take over for me real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Let me say my piece, and then after I finish my piece, let Hamid jump in, and we're gonna go. I'm just saying, like, I don't think he needs that. I think Wilder is mentally strong already. I just think like they had the wrong game plan, and Fury had the right game plan. Hamid, what's going on, Hamid? Say your piece.
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Hamid.
I don't know what's gonna happen because we don't know. Like D-Cell said, what Wilder and his team want to say, but I will say this: when I did post in the Hangouts that Wilder and his team might pull out after like there's some rumors circling, and I asked someone, and he said it looks like Wilder's gonna pull out. I'm not sure because Wilder and his team initially asked for the fight to be delayed from July to November. Now, obviously, that was not Wilder's fault or Fury's, whatever, because of the pandemic. But why I heard was they've already asked to move from November to December, and now they're asking to move the date from December to next year. So Fury and his team don't want to move to a date next year because that's going to essentially mean that he won't be able to fight this year. So I don't know what's in the contract. If he says in the contract he's got more than enough time than this year, then Wilder might be it might be his right to do that. But I do know that Fury wants to fight this year. Whether or not it'll be a non-title defense or that doesn't affect he's still the champion, we don't know. But it looks like the Wilder's not going to fight this year, and I'm not sure if that means that they'll end up rescheduling the fight for next year because Eddie Hearn and his team keep saying that Wilder and Joshua and Fury are going to fight twice next year. So I don't know where that's going to sit in. I'm hearing that Wilder could end up fighting Ruiz next year. I think we got to wait and see what happens. But I wouldn't say it's a duck on either side. I know some people will say Wilder's is going to duck the trilogy. And I've heard the other way around as well. But Wilder's already fought him twice. So I wouldn't say that's a duck. I don't think he probably will beat the guy. And if he's, man enough to admit it, then I think you got to give him credit because after that second fight, it's tough to see how he could beat Fury. On the other hand, if Fury wants to go ahead and fight someone else and try and get a big fight with Joshua, I can't really blame him. The only thing is, I hope he doesn't throw the belt away. In that sense, I'd rather just see the third fight and I'd rather see the winner of that than go on to fight Joshua. But I think it's a bit early to say. At the moment, we don't know. All we've heard is from Shelly Finkel. We haven't heard from Wilder or Al Heyman or anyone saying anything.
All right, so D-Stars, go ahead, D-Stars.
Yo, so look, all I wanted to kind of throw in was the following, right? I get and I completely understand that mind games and getting people's heads is part of the fight game, right? You can do things before the fight that will make a guy not fight his fight. But the reality is, while yes, Fury ambushed Wilder the way he did, knees high, ran straight to him, okay, and whether, I agree that Wilder nor many of us did not believe Fury was going to do that. The fact is he did do that, and the fact that Wilder was not prepared for that was not really a mental mind games thing. That was a game that had more to do with a game plan. He was not prepared to fight that type of fight. And as a fighter, you should be prepared for just about anything. You got to prepare for all types of situations, and he was not prepared for that. Yes, of course, Fury lies all the time, but there's going to be times, that, you're going to think he's bluffing, but he's not. And there is an art to that. Okay, the poker players master that. I just don't think he got in his head, though. I don't think he was losing sleep. I don't think he was like, mind fucked before the fight. I just don't believe any of that at all. I just think he was caught off guard. He was ambushed at the start of the fight, and he didn't know what to do. And how limited he is was really exposed in that fight. Fury exposed how limited he is as a fighter in that fight. And Exhibit A, the fight. Just watch it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
I add?
Yeah, go ahead, Eldo. Go ahead, Eldo.
Yeah, just to add to that, I don't think Wilder was losing sleep or he was done before the fight. I think it was during the fight. I think when Fury said, "I'm going to work you down," he didn't believe it, right? I don't think he was worried. But when he started doing it, I think it really made him think, because you do think in there and you think like, damn, he's doing what he told me he would do. I didn't expect this. And I think his confidence started to crumble inside the ring.
Go ahead. Unbiased is gone? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smoke.
It's not very low, though, EJ. Just
Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke's still here. Smoke. Yeah, Smoke's good. Okay. Rest of the guys are gone. Well, hey, listen, we
scared Smoke away is what happened. You know what I mean? I'm just I'm playing.
I'm biased and Smoke. Both of them have disappeared. All right, so we're gonna have to find out about that. Like other news, we're gonna talk about Ryan Garcia and is it Luke Campbell? The fight's been made. These stars, what do you think is gonna happen, or do you even care?
Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, you said?
Yeah. That's made, right?
Well, first of all, I'm glad the fight was finally announced. Yeah. All right, like goddamn, it was taking forever for them to give us a date, and as much grief and as much bashing as I do of Ryan Garcia, it's never about what the kid could do in the ring. It's always his outside the ring antics and mentality and wanting to be paid Canelo type money just because he has a modest following on social media. It's not even that big. Like does he have a big following?
Oh, come on.
Absolutely. No, let me finish my point, L-Dog. Let me finish my point. Does he have a big following compared to like us? Sure, of course he does. Okay, the dude has tens of thousands of followers, which is great. Okay, hundreds of thousands. That's great, but he doesn't have millions, dude.
Yes,
he doesn't have KSI numbers. He doesn't have Paul Logan numbers. He doesn't have those type of numbers, bro. He's not like if you made a list of top 100 social media personalities, he would not make that list. Now he would make the list of top boxers, 100 boxers, and I mean, which is what I think he should be focusing on personally. I'm not saying that his popularity doesn't influence how much he should get paid, but he's like he overdoes it. Like he signs a new deal with Oscar after complaining what he's making. I was totally with him at the time. Okay. Then he goes on social media and he brags about how he signed the biggest lucrative deal for a prospect ever. I knew that shit was bullshit. They didn't release the numbers or anything, but I knew it was bullshit, okay? And then he has a fight. He comes back, and then he basically pulls out, like he doesn't want to, agree to the fight that the Golden Boy matchmaker is giving him, and he's demanding more money all of a sudden. I thought you signed the most lucrative deal ever, right? So I always had an issue with that. However, inside the ring, I think the kid has a lot of talent, a lot of promise. All right. I personally don't like how he has his chin up in the air. They call him the bird watcher. He's always looking up. His chin's in the air.
Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, Ryan Garcia. And let me tell you something, man. If he doesn't get Luke Campbell out of there early, because we know he's got one hell of a snap, one hell of a punch, but you're not going to beat everybody that way. Okay, and if you don't get Luke Campbell out of there early, it's going to be a long night for Ryan Garcia. All right,
well,
Luke Campbell has the height, the size, the jab, and I think the amateur pedigree, better amateur pedigree than even Ryan. Okay, so this is a gold medalist we're talking about, and I believe that Luke Campbell will I'm not sure yet, but as of right now, I'm saying Luke Campbell in a very close decision. Whether he gets the decision or not is yet to be seen. But I think it's going to be a really close fight.
Yeah. Can I touch on that?
Go ahead, L-Dog.
All right. So listen, Ryan Garcia, he does have a big social media following. There's only one boxer in the world who actually has a larger following, if you exclude Mayweather, and that's AJ. He's got like 7.5 million followers. He is popular. But you know, I agree.
Where though?
You
Which
kind of got to
platform?
earn your, huh?
Which platform is that? 7 million.
Instagram.
Okay.
But I'm saying like, what you know, when it comes to getting purses, you know, like this is the thing. You can't expect him if, let's say, he fights the winner of Loma Lopez. I agree that it's kind of wrong if he goes in there and says like, "Oh, look at my platform. I'm more popular. I'm the A side." Like, nah, you got to earn your stripes.
Yes.
But at the same time, with this Campbell fight, I'm actually excited for it. I agree a lot with what you say, but I think it's too soon for Ryan. I think he's a basic kind of trap fighter. He sets these traps, like he'll try and draw you in and counter you. It's always the same thing. Wait on the front foot, draw an opponent to punch, and then transition weight to the back foot as you throw that left hook. And it works against these lower level fighters. But I think someone like Luke Campbell is going to be able to see these traps, and I don't think he's going to fall for it, man. I see him winning a wide points decision, but how wide it will be on the scorecards, I'm not sure. I think I'm saying like a 9-3, 10-2 type of decision. I can't see Ryan how he's going to box with Luke. His best chance is to set a trap, and I don't think guys like Campbell, they fall for traps. I don't think they fall for these basic traps.
Yeah. Good point taken
You
here.
guys are blowing up Campbell better than it is. Like, this is Campbell who won the gold medal in London, where since then, how many gold medals has England, as London even brought back, as Team GB brought back? Because they won all their gold medals in 2012, and since then we ain't won none since any Olympic. let me put that right there. Do you know who he beat? Listen, bro. Like, I see Luke Campbell, and I like Luke Campbell, right? I think Eddie Hearn ruined him by putting him against Ivo Mendy too early, and he didn't let him stay building himself up. But he's been out there in the world scene. He's been losing steadily. He's a trial horse. Anyone picking him is insane. Like, I don't know how anyone could pick Luke Campbell.
What do you mean?
He's I'm telling you, he's lost. He lost steadily. Yeah, he's had good performances, but these losses afterward, they take a toll on the fighter. Even if you think you're good, your mentality is, even if I'm winning, well, I don't know if I'm gonna win. He ain't got no confidence, is what I'm saying. They gave him, they put him in there for Ryan to finish him off, to look spectacular on a guy who's been beat by these guys. Linares. Who else he been beat by? He got beat by Lomachenko. Who else did he get beat? Ivan Mendy he got beat by, and he barely won that fight in the rematch. Eman was putting pressure on him. Nah, with that wide stance he got, he don't like pressure. Look, Ryan's gonna open him up, bro. I don't
Plus, I would
open
say
up and
though,
put his ass, man. I don't
yeah,
understand. Like, people looking at Luke Campbell, I don't know what people getting. Any
Styles
confidence in
make
Luke Campbell.
fights, man.
I will also
Styles
say
make
though,
fights.
I ain't finished though.
okay,
Every time he step up against anyone, he losing. Now you're saying Ryan Garcia, you don't rate him, but Ryan's undefeated and he don't know about losing, and he ain't gonna look to lose against Luke Campbell. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
well, you know, I will add to that. Luke does is that Luke Campbell, he kind of tends to do, kind of irks me a lot, is that he gives up his height too much, man. He always does that. It's like sometimes you got to use your height to get small opponents. Don't give up your height, because if you do that, you give him a chance to give him a good chance to crack you in the chin by doing. So you can't give up your height all the fucking time. That's what he does a lot. So he's got to learn to use his height and reach a lot better. So that's the thing about Luke Campbell. To EJ's point, maybe he was rushed a little too early. Yes, he performed admirably against opponents like Mendy and guys like Linares and Lomachenko. But at the end of the day, maybe those fights were a little too soon for him. We don't know. We don't know. But he's still continuing his career. So we'll see if he can pull this off. But I don't see he can. I doubt it. But speaking of that, is this fight taking place in the U.S. or is it taking place in the U.K.? That's what we need to know.
I don't
I have
think
no
we
idea.
know yet.
But can I say something? I mean, EJ, I get what you're saying, but I don't know, man. Like I think you're being a little too harsh on Luke Campbell a little bit. Like it's well, why being hard on the guy? So, like, just because you lose a couple fights doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things if you keep going at it, right? A lot of guys lost fights early in their careers.
No. What I'm saying is,
I think
I understand what you're saying, D Styles. Well, I have to be truthful, right? Now, like I said to you, I closely watching Luke Campbell, seeing him from the Olympics. In fact, he was supposed to be in a bigger. He was actually supposed to be in a better position than Anthony Joshua when he first came out of Hull. Where he thought they was trying to say this guy is going to be our next guy. This is the next guy that Matchroom are putting all their eggs into the basket. And for whatever reason, match him, and they do it a lot of the time. They just put him into the European. He barely won he won a British belt. Tommy called a British belt, right? He didn't defend it, and then there's a big AJ card. I think AJ was fighting Charles Martin on that card. I think he was fighting, right, or one of the other Americans. I can't remember. And they put him on the card, and they said we're going to give you a European fight. So they were fast tracking.
Was it Kevin Johnson? Was it that card?
No, it wasn't a Kevin Johnson card. No, you know what? No, it wasn't that card. No, it wasn't. It was another card, right? But anyway, he lost, right? He lost. But what I'm saying is that the loss and the confidence ran it. Now he's with the McGuigans, right? And to Dan's point about the wide stance and the way he fights, he doesn't fight to win. Like I've seen his body, his whole aura looks like, bro, I'm just there. I'm gonna get a payday. I'm fighting in there. If I win, fine. Eddie Hearn's like, well, if you win, you win. If you don't, I'll give you another shot. You know, like Dave Allen. That's why he's got Luke Campbell. Even if Luke Campbell loses, I'll put you back in there. Don't worry, I'll put you back in there, and we'll give you another shot until you achieve your goal. That's what it seems like to me. It looks like this guy is there just to, fight these guys here as Trajo. He doesn't really believe he's gonna win, and I can't believe that people see Luke Campbell and look at any of his fights that he actually goes for the win. Even when he knocks you down, he doesn't like, oh man, I need to go in there all out and finish this guy. And he doesn't do that. He fights very cautious. He's a southpaw. He fights like George Grove. His stance is too wide. He's looking for single punches to the body and to the thing. And Ryan ain't gonna be having none of that shit. Ryan goes, get that. Ryan will open him up quick and early. And you're right. If it goes longer, maybe Campbell might be in the fight. But Campbell hasn't got the confidence, in my opinion, no more to try and win the fight. And anyone betting him, I can't see that. He doesn't believe in himself no more. Is what I'm saying.
Well, we're gonna see, man. But let me tell you something. You might be right, EJ. However, man, don't underestimate a man that his back's against the wall and everybody's counting him out and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Because maybe all that pressure from after the Olympics got to him.
If he was Mexican and he was from Latin America and from a thing, I find he's very rich. He's well to do off. He has a lot of money. In fact, he doesn't need to box. So he's well off. He doesn't need to box. He boxes because that
doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything because Marco Antonio Barrera came from a wealthy family.
Yeah, but no. I'm talking about the incentive of why. And what I'm trying to say, the stuff that you're talking about, he doesn't look like he's got the incentive. No, you're right. Barrera's different, bro. Barrera fight like a bloody maniac. Every fight.
I'm not comparing them, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm talking about you talking about well to do. But what I'm saying is that he's properly well to do. Like I'm literally, he doesn't need to box, right? And sometimes I look on them sort of circumstances and look at, you're in there. And I remember, the thing is when I remember his whole body language when I saw it when he fight Linares, not Linares, when he's fighting Lomachenko. This dude didn't even believe he was gonna win. I remember they asked him, Luke, I'm gonna Luke. They go, Luke, you're gonna think, well, I'm just gonna in there. I'm against one of the greats. I'm gonna give it a go. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to hear that stuff. And that's why I'm turned off these stars completely. So now he's going to Ryan Garcia. It's not like,
well, what? To be fair, EJ, could it be? As we all know, boxing is about maybe 80% or 70% mental rather than physical when it comes to the sport. Do you think I hate to bring this up. Do you think the death of his father may have contributed to the way Luke Campbell looks at boxing?
Yeah, you know what, Dan? I didn't even take that on board. Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, he boxes for the sake of that's all he knows to keep himself busy because of obviously the death of his father, and him and his father used to share the boxing. But you know what I mean? These sort of things do have an impact on you. He's fighting, but he doesn't look like he's fighting to win. And I just thought Ryan Garcia, and it's all about timing. You know what I mean? And I think for Ryan Garcia, it's like, yo, this is the time. I mean, the match. Who's the matchmakers? Is it Golden Boy? They know they keep picking a European. They keep let's look at the before you jump in. Let's look at the ratio. Golden Boy fighters against UK fighters. Let's look at the numbers. How many times has any UK fighters beat any Golden Boy fighters over the past 5 years? Amir Khan. What's the Smiths? They're all what's he? Rocky from Stocky against any Golden Boy fight. They've all been getting turfed out. So why is this going to be any different? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zisal. Go ahead, respond.
Yeah. Well, Roberto Diaz is the matchmaker of Golden Boy, and let me just tell you this, EJ, this is not what they wanted. They wanted him to fight lesser opposition for at least 2-3 more fights before they got to this level. So I just want to make that clear. It was, and in fairness, and we could even praise Ryan Garcia for this, right? He wanted to step up already, right? So now the question is, did he step up a little too early? Like that's the question, because to add to your point, EJ, there's going to be a point early in the fight where Ryan Garcia is going to land something big on Campbell, and he's going to have to make a decision. if he wants to keep fighting or not. And you're saying that he's gonna basically just quit or what, like, or just not get up?
No.
Punch.
No. I'm just saying he's not. He hasn't got the ambition to win the fight. He's more or less gonna stay in the fight, box by his jab. If it goes to the points, fine. But he doesn't. He's not trying to do anything to try and say I'm gonna win the fight. Is what I'm saying. I've never.
So he doesn't want to be a grade, is what you're saying. He doesn't want to be an grade.
He's boxing for the sake of boxing, but he doesn't. He's not in there actually trying to win. It's like, okay, I'm a box. And I've seen many fighters like that where they're getting paydays. I might as well box. And it's like, okay, Luke, you know what I mean? We talk about the gold medal, but like, I don't know who he beat to win the gold medal. And you know what I mean? Luke Campbell was supposed to be that guy, but everyone knows when you get close to him, you can touch him. I saw when he went down to Mende, if you get close, and they know that if you get close to Luke Campbell, because the way he fights, so with his wide stance, the moment you get inside with him, he's wrecked, bro. You can wreck him, bro. Like
but Ryan's not an inside fighter though.
No,
like,
he isn't. But Ryan's got fast hands and his arms are long, and that they're compensating on Luke is slowing down and he's lost in his confidence. This is a lot of things to do with boxing in the pro level is mental, and his confidence is not at the best. Ryan is all confidence, so Ryan will take chances, and that's why the younger guy usually overcomes a guy who's been in it, not done yet. That's
AJ, it ain't my job to root for the Brit, bro. You gotta back up your dude, bro.
I back the winner, bro. I roll. Listen, LeBron won a championship. Wherever he goes, I go. I go where the chips are, bro. Listen.
You need to support your dude. You know what I mean?
All right. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Just to touch on this real quickly here. A big fight coming up this weekend: Lomachenko versus Lopez. A big unification bout at lightweight. We already got our predictions hashed out on that fight already. But there's one interesting point to point out going into the fight. It was discovered that there's no rematch clause in this fight between the two fighters. Now, let's give a little take on this of why this is about. So I'm trying to figure out, me personally, I think the reason why the rematch clause is not put into place between this fight, because I think that's an indication that Lomachenko is going to go back down in weight, because they've been talking about that for a while now. And then Teofimo Lopez himself is going to move up in weight because he is too big to be at 135. So what do you guys take on that one? You guys
hold on. First of all, I want to know EJ's prediction, because I don't think I've heard his prediction.
Oh, I think he said go ahead, EJ. Go ahead.
Right, who's that? Who we fight? Lopez.
Lopez.
Oh man, that's Lomachenko all day, man. Like I listen. I just go by. I have to go by what you've done lately, and that Cormier fight. I don't know what Cormier spell he was under. What money he took from Ghana. I don't know what he's taking. The way he went over, I've never seen a dive worse in my life. That was a dive, and I ain't gonna.
I don't know about that.
And furthermore, I see when he fought that Japanese guy, and he was complexed by that guy. And I'm looking at him like, yo, and he was knocking out bums, bro. Yeah, and he was knocking out pure bums, and he was celebrating somersaulting when he's knocking out bums. But the moment he goes against,
wait, hold on, EJ. You say you say Coney.
Okay, EJ.
Wait, hold on.
I'm picking Lomo.
But wait, why you say Kobe took a dive? I mean, he took a very
dive, man. Like
I mean, you take a right hand like that. You say somebody take a dive.
Stop it, bro. When
I know people that were there, bro. It's not a dive, bro.
He looked like he took. To me, he literally took a dive, and boxing. There's gangsters.
If you take a hand that flush like a right hand that flush to the chin, that's a damn good dive to me. But damn, okay.
Gave him a suitcase of money, bro. He took a dive. Lomo on the other hand, he be in there.
I just want to let everybody know, EJ has no proof of this, by the way. He's just saying.
He's trolling, man. He's trolling.
EJ, I know you have no proof, but I'm going to just choose to agree with you anyway because it sounds good to me.
She took a suitcase of money. Does that have the proof? No.
Look, I'll touch on the rematch clause. In all honesty, I think this will be a bit controversial, but I think Bob is out of the business of losing money on Lomachenko. The guy has not crossed over to a bigger audience. I don't think he ever will. He's, when you're below 147 pounds and you don't speak English, you're really going to be a big star in boxing, really. Especially when you're not from Mexico, or a country like that.
To be fair, also cut you off, Hell Dog. To be fair, it worked for Manny Pacquiao, so what makes
right. I think that's
but Manny
a big
speaks
anomaly.
English, and he likes the NBA. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he
that's
speaks
and
pretty
English.
phenomenal.
Manny also had competition.
Yeah, but let me say, I think the Eastern European fan base is not really there. Like, let's be real, the Eastern Europeans, there's not so many of them that come out to watch these boxing events and really get behind their guys.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the money to do it. They don't have the money to do it. And I think Bob is hoping to really set Top Rank up for his godson, Todd. And the best way of doing that, if you're Bob, is to hope that Lopez knocks out Loma on free television.
Isn't
The
his
knockout
son-in-law,
goes.
bro?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's his
Son-in-law,
son-in-law.
not godson. Go ahead.
Son-in-law. Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
but
you know what?
I think
Yeah.
he's really hoping that he knocks out Lomachenko, and he's got this Latino American who speaks English, is doing the Fortnite dances, is young.
He's
He's
a
just knocked
carrot.
out a
He's
guy.
cocky. He's cocky.
Yeah,
Trash talk.
he's just knocked out a guy who has this insane amateur record, all these bouts. I think he's hoping that Lopez gets that win and just moves up.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
look.
I don't
I
think.
mean, to be fair, hold on, real quickly, guys, real
Let me
quickly,
go
though.
next, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let you go next time. I just want to make a quick response to this comment here. Bias said that it worked for Prince Nassim. Well, actually, Prince Nassim actually could speak English, and he was a trash talker. He was hated by everybody. He fought pretty much all the majority of the competition at featherweight. So that's a little bit different than Lomachenko. Prince Nassim fought better competition than Lomachenko. So that's a different case. He was more, to Jeff's point, he was more charismatic. But go ahead, D-Style.
Well, look, I think this is a non-story. Let me explain why. Okay. Eddie Hearn is the exception to the rule. Okay. Yes, there's been fighters that have, like Floyd Mayweather, De La Hoya before him, that had rematch clauses. They didn't always exercise them, but they had them, just in case. Right.
Right.
Eddie Hearn has a rematch clause for every fucking fight, bro. Like every fight. This is insane, bro. Okay. Like, how does, Dillian White have a damn rematch clause? Okay,
Damn, I don't limit it about.
This is not normal. So when they asked, I'm pretty sure Bob didn't go out of his way to announce that there's no. Hey guys, by the way, there's no rematch clause. No, I think somebody asked him if there's a rematch clause, and he said no, there's not. And then that's when if you remember, he went on to rant about Eddie Hearn, that Eddie Hearn does too many damn rematch clauses. I mean, these rematch clauses from Eddie Hearn are ridiculous, bro. If Dillian White knocked out Povetkin like that, we're not seeing a rematch. Nobody's going to bother.
And
right?
plus, that was a title eliminator. Why was it even a rematch clause even put in place for that
Exactly.
fight?
The only rematch clause I agreed with was Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, because that was for the heavyweight championship of the world. Okay. But even back then, look, it's not like rematches were required even back then. You kind of gave the champion the rematch. It was like a tradition.
Yeah.
I don't think, I could be wrong about this. Okay, I don't think Floyd Patterson had a rematch clause against Sonny Liston. Right? He just rematched it because he was a champ. Right? I don't think Cassius Clay then turned Muhammad Ali. I don't think he was bound to rematch to Sonny Liston, but he rematched him. Right? It was just what you did. Ali fought Frazier 3 times, but it wasn't back to back to back though. That's the thing people need to understand. Those 3 fights happened over a course of time, not because it was rematch clauses. Right. So I just think Eddie Hearn is doing something that's unprecedented with all these rematch clauses, and it's making it seem like this is something rare. Like, why can't we have a rematch? Why isn't there a rematch clause? Oh my God, I just don't.
Well, I guess because to your initial point, you make a fair point. There have been rematch clauses with a champion. It was always between 2 champions. Now, that doesn't mean that they always exercise those rematch clauses. They put in their assurance just in case of how the outcome of the fight goes. Whether they felt that was robbed on a decision, they want to invoke it right away. You know what I mean? So that is a fair point. I think that's the gist of what people are kind of confused and wonder what's going on with that, because usually champions do get their rematch clauses just in case if the outcome of the fight ends in a controversial way. You know what I mean? But to your other point, D-Style, it is been unprecedented that Eddie Hearn has to add a rematch clause for every single one of his fighters, including Katie Taylor, and then we learned that her fights, she's the only one that gets a one-way rematch clause and the other champions don't. That makes no fucking sense.
Because they're the B side. Like you guys, it's like none of the A side fights.
But all that's new.
So,
That's new.
They always do that.
if I could just jump in.
Eddie Hearn's a snitch. He will be telling people his business. They got Bob Aaron has rematch clauses all the time as well. So does Frank Warren. But Eddie Hearn likes telling everyone about his business. He snitches out. Oh, that's why Bob Aaron can't stand him.
Well,
If I-
yeah. Well, back to the original
get
point
in-
though. Wait, hold up. Back to the original point though. Why do you think there isn't a rematch clause between Lomachenko and Lopez? What do you think? Why do you think there's none in this case?
Who says there isn't?
It isn't.
So what? There also wasn't one in the Pacquiao Horn fight, right? But before I go into that, I would just like to take a second to just point out the disrespect you guys are showing toward the former silver champ and the former interim champ that the WBC has, right? So is that
Dillian
guy
White?
not a champion? Was Dillian White not a champion? He doesn't get a
No.
rematch clause?
Man,
What?
fuck Dillian White.
I don't know why Smoke's
Hey,
trolling with that one.
Hey,
Hey, hold up. I
Dylan
don't know why
Fox telling
Smoke's
me and
trolling.
L Dog agree on
Oh,
something.
I was going. L Dog know where I was going with it. He ended it perfectly for me. But if I could just
Yeah, you troll with
back
that
up
one. Hey,
one
Smoke, you
second.
troll because we know you don't like Dillian White. But go ahead.
Yeah, all of what the interim champion doesn't deserve a rematch. What are we doing here? Are we not boxing fans?
Nah, but you know what it is, yeah. Look, dudes ain't got no. It's all about the paycheck, innit? Like Povetkin ain't got nowhere else to go. Eddie Hearn's got the money. That's what it's about. So they say,
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't
thing
think
about that.
they even have a rematch. But you see,
Yeah.
the Russians can't speak English, so they probably got away with the saying there's a rematch and that's offering more money, and that's that. But I don't know if there's a rematch clause. And anyway, he still moved down to WBC. But Eddie Hearn in the rematch, Eddie Hearn snitches. Look, man, when he goes on Coogan on IFL for an hour and snitches his old business, all the promoters cringe. Frank Warren
How
can't
does one
stand it.
snitch on his own? Like
He,
this-
bro, the guy telling all of his financial business to
I gotcha.
shame them other guys into making.
You know what? You're right, EJ. He snitched on the zone's budget. Like, come on, I got $1 billion.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, BJ London got a good point in the chat. He said, "I bet you that Joshua got a rematch clause against Pulev, and that's a mandatory fight." Yeah, it would surprise me.
Hell yeah.
But AJ is such a big A side in that fight. Of course, he's gonna have like a rematch clause. I don't see like. Listen,
Well,
when you're
I mean,
a
since we're on this
unified world
point, hey,
champion,
but since we're on this point though, hold on. But well, sorry, Eldon. I'll let Eldon finish real quickly though. But let me just say this: since we're on that point, it goes back to what Bob Barrett had said about rematch clause. He's like referred to Eddie Hearn. He says, well, perhaps Eddie, the reason why he's invoking all these inserting all these rematch clauses in these contracts with these A-side fighters is because he doesn't believe they can win fights.
No, actually, Top Rank just had Bob can talk because he sets up a bunch of in-house fights. So regardless of who wins, it's his guy that still has the belt.
Bob wins.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
I mean, Manny Pacquiao deserves a rematch more than anybody, especially against a Jeff Horn, right? And he didn't have a rematch in that sense. But guess what? Manny Pacquiao left, but the belt didn't leave Top Rank.
Yo, Manny
I see what you're saying, but
Manny
again,
Pacquiao fight real Jeff
Hey,
Horn
can I
again,
say
bro.
something quick?
He didn't want to fight
Go
Jeff
ahead.
Horn again, bro. Don't try it. He didn't want to fight Jeff Horn again. He didn't want that beast nigga again. He didn't want that
Regardless,
beast.
was there a
Go ahead.
rematch clause for it though?
Nah, but he didn't want that. If it was, he wouldn't take it anyway. He got the ass whipped. Go ahead, D-Stars.
Well, look, at the end of the day, rematch clauses used to be like if something weird happens, if I sprain my ankle in the first round or some freak headbutt happens and I deserve, like, I just want this on paper just in case I want to get your ass back in the ring. It was never about if I get my ass whooped bad, I'm going to definitely exercise my rematch clause. That was never
How about
rematch
if it
clause.
was a controversial decision because you went into some guy's
Right.
hometown, right?
Exactly.
Well,
Like,
well, here's what kind of bizarre about it because it happens and it's starting to happen in mandatory fights. I never got to see that in mandatory fights until Klitschko started doing that crap. But in that situation, that'd be up to the sanctioned body to decide whether a rematch should happen if the fight ended
Now, let me add something that
Exactly,
Eldon
man.
said
Exactly.
earlier, though. Let me say something really quick about Lomachenko, okay? Lomachenko, he was in a nice spot when HBO was still around because they would just pay for his fights. So Bob will make money that way.
Yeah.
On ESPN, like, he's never wanted to really pull that trigger on putting him on pay-per-view or anything like that. He fought hard not to put this one on pay-per-view. But let me just say this, dude. As far as fight fans, and I'm talking not just boxing fans, like MMA fans, kickboxing fan, whoever likes like combat sports, they know who Lomachenko is. Like Joe Rogan's always talking about
Right.
Lomachenko. Like a lot of a lot of UFC fighters that you ask him, they always mention Lomachenko. Like he's well known among fight fans. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It
now
just doesn't
whether Bob
translate
makes
after.
money on him, I don't know. But this is what I do know.
Yeah.
I have a friend that does some really nice paintings of boxers, and Bob Barham purchased a Lomachenko one. I'm sorry, no, I apologize. He purchased a Teofimo Lopez one. He has it in his home. This dude has a painting of Teofimo Lopez in his home.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this doesn't tell you that this guy really has high hopes for Lomachenko, I don't know what does. Now,
mean
with all
Lopez?
that said, okay. Well, yes. Now, with all that said, and I don't want L-Dog to get too confident, or I don't want him to think I'm switching sides or anything like that. It's not about that at all. But if Lomachenko goes in there, right, and does what a lot of people picking Lomachenko to do, right? If he boxes, making him look silly, dominates the fight, maybe even stops him. If Lomachenko goes in there and does that to Teofimo Lopez, okay, this is me included, right? Everybody's saying he's a piece of shit, he's overrated, he's this and he's that, he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't want you to switch sides now. I don't want you to all of a sudden move the goalpost. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
He's the greatest
If Lomachenko does what L-Dog says he's going to do, he's number one pound for pound. I'm on record saying that right now.
Subject to approval, I will jump ship, bro. I ain't lying. If he whoops the ass, I'm jumping ship quick. I'm getting a little bit bro.
I'm just going on record.
I'm not signing that
I'm an on record type of guy. I go on record with shit.
Oh, yeah,
I'm on record. If he embarrasses Teofimo or stops him, which I do not believe is going to happen, but if that happens, he's number one pound for pound in boxing.
Let me say this quickly.
All right.
Quickly.
Hold
Hold
on.
No. I gotta add this quickly.
Go ahead.
I actually have bet a couple $100 on Teofimo Lopez to win because I honestly believe if Loma can't stop him, he's not going to get the decision. I really don't believe he'll be given the decision. The top rank, they really want Teo to win. Teo is the next golden boy for them. He's the next superstar who can generate them all this money. And Lomachenko came out and said, I don't care about being famous. I care about boxing. That's a promoter's worst nightmare.
Yeah, you know what? To your point, though, L-Dog, I Smoke wanted to jump in, but to your point, though, it's possible that they were trying to move Lomachenko the way they moved Pacquiao, given the fact that he's kind of somewhat, not saying underperformed. He hasn't looked great at 135. He's getting hit more than he's ever been hit before, and he hasn't looked great against these type of opponents. Now they're talking about moving back down in weight, where, I mean, it's a good weight class, 130, but they're not like the names that Manny Pacquiao fought in the day when he fought the Barreras, fought the Marquezes, he fought the Moraleses, he fought the Oscar Larios.
Morales was washed up, bro. Come on.
De La Hoya, but still though, but he fought a lot of big names in those smaller weight classes. That's why they were able to move him up to like eventually up to 154 catch weight or 147 for the most part. So I think that's what their plan was. But given the fact that he's so small, he can't hit a lot of these bigger guys. They don't think he can handle it. And to your point though, Bob Aaron's losing money on the guy. Maybe it's a possibility that he is setting up the fight for Teofimo Lopez to win.
If I can just jump in, I have a couple of points. I've been trying to make it. Like we just keep going off subject.
Smoke real quickly. To my point, Teofimo Lopez, he's already said he's gonna move up to 140 after this fight. He goes up, then he goes to the 147. Maybe Teofimo Lopez is big enough and he'd be able to handle the higher weight classes to fight the bigger names there. Maybe that's what Bob is planning to do with Teofimo Lopez. To L-Dog's point, that's not out of the realm of the possibility. But Smoke, you could jump in.
All right. So two things. First off, I think it's well documented. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school to say that there's definitely a racial element to UFC promotion at this point, right? Everybody has seen it, right? So the idea that like fight fans in general are behind Loma, like that's because of UFC, I think that's a little bit.
I didn't say behind, Smoke. I said they know about him.
But I'm just saying, but know about it. Okay, but what we're talking about is popularity, right? For me, the idea that Loma, what I feel like about Loma, I don't think he's that big a draw. I don't know that Teo can be that big a draw. Maybe he could. I think that's some wishful thinking also. But I don't think the time is on Loma's side. Just just straight up. When it's come down to the promote like Bob's style of promotion, I think age has definitely caught up to him, and he is definitely just catching those TV. He's just catching the TV network
And the injuries
contract.
too, because and Lomachenko has been injury prone as of late and later in his career. So the injuries are catching up to him. So we'll wait
Yeah,
and see.
I mean, I think it's a lot of things, right? It's just, I mean, mostly the reason. I think we pointed it out. I said it earlier. You just reiterated is that Loma is for the other lightweights that have come through that have been great. They had competition. The other smaller guys that come through that became pay-per-view stars. They had the foils in order to make the fights intriguing. I
Yeah.
don't think that Loma has been. I don't think that Loma's been an underdog since maybe Gary Russell Jr. and probably not even then, right? So
He was a
it's just,
favorite.
yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
Ernest. Hey, shout out to Ernest Terry in the chat. He says that two words. Why both of them moving up and down the weight after the fight?
oh,
Because of Dad
okay,
Bet Haney.
all right. So right, all right. So let me
Okay.
just take this is last point.
Uh-huh.
Teofimo Lopez is not because he is 23 years old and beat Richard Coney. Beating him does not make you number one anything. Just straight up. Like the dude's done
Facts.
nothing. He is not 20. He's not even top 25 pound for pound. How the hell is beating him make you
True.
number one?
Okay, if he beats Lomachenko, where does that put him in the pound for pound list?
Don't put him nowhere.
I mean,
Don't
closer
put him
to top
nowhere.
10.
What?
Closer to top 10.
Bro,
I'll give you that.
no.
Who's
Hold on.
Get the smoke. Who's your number one pound for pound?
Right now it's Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mean Machine is better than Teofimo Lopez in your opinion?
Well, do you think that he's number one because of Mean Machine?
I don't know why. I'm just saying.
Right. But you're saying that he's number
What
one
about
from
Horn?
one fight. I didn't say
What about
I
Horn?
didn't say Terrence Crawford was number one from one fight.
Okay, and Dongo.
Julius
You think
Dongo.
Dongo is a better fighter than Teofimo?
Yeah, Dongo. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
so
Who's
did
fighting?
I say
Two-time champion, man.
I got it. Did I say that I picked Terrence Crawford to be number one because of one fight? It's you who are saying he's number one because of one fight.
Welterweight.
No. First of all, I have to look. First of all, Lomachenko right now, he's up there, bro. You could argue he's number one right now if you want.
Yeah, no, Loma can. Yes, Loma.
What I'm saying is this would solidify it. This would be like the little cherry on top. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's jumping from 100 to 1. He'll jump like from 2, 3 to 1. Okay, because Crawford hasn't done shit, bro. Like in years, I've had Crawford number 1 right now, but I can't keep him there. He's not fighting anybody. You know,
bro, it's not like somebody else. It's not like the other. Okay, it's not like the other guys are blowing it out. It's not like the other guys are blowing it out the water.
Yeah, he's not fighting.
Let me finish.
Yeah,
like, the only guy that you can say something about is Canelo, right? But Canelo, he failed a drug test. Say what it is, and he also fought Rocky Fielding. So it's not like the top 3 guys aren't like they don't have controversy with him. All I'm saying is,
failing a drug test.
All I'm saying is Teofimo doesn't necessarily put you over.
Can I say something about the failed drug test really quick? Because it was so really quick. Then I'll let you go. I think that's Ubi. Look. Okay. Yes, Canelo failed a drug test. I don't have Canelo number 1 myself, but it's still Crawford. However, all right, like here's the reality. All right, we can't testing positive for one test for one fight, all right, doesn't disqualify you for life from possibly being the best fighter in the world. That's not a disqualification. You can morally disqualify him yourself. That's fine, and I'm completely okay with that. But to act like Canelo's not possibly a better fighter than Crawford is a little insane to me. Okay,
here's really what it is. Here's really what it is. I already know. For me, I already see the skills gap between Canelo and Terrence Crawford. I think Crawford is the more skilled fighter. I think Canelo has a much better resume. Canelo for me is my number 3 guy, right? Just because I feel like Loma and Crawford are as skilled and haven't failed the drug test. However, the competition isn't as good as Canelo's.
Well, let our buyers get in.
All right, so
jump in.
Yeah, for me, I think Canelo's number 1 for me. I think he is, in my opinion, he's more skilled than Terrence Crawford. Just my opinion, right? Just like what I see in the ring. But if we're talking about in the comparison of what has Lomachenko and Crawford done, Anthony Crolla and Luke Campbell, and who else did he fight at 135?
Linares, Pedraza.
I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? I don't have him number one if he beats Tio. Unfortunately, Tio hasn't really. He's beaten Richard Comey, and I'm high on Tio, but he really hasn't done much at 135 besides beat Richard Comey. So I wouldn't put him at number one. No, I wouldn't.
But
Hey,
also,
Ray,
can I
shout out
add
to
on
Ray.
to
Hold on,
something?
hold
Can
on, real quickly, Eldar. Y'all let you get in a second, but I'm gonna read this comment here. Raider said that Lomo ain't number one if he beats Timo. Come on, homie. I mean, Timo hasn't even beat anybody besides Comey. But go ahead,
Facts.
Eldar.
Yeah,
Exactly.
what I want to say is
Well, it's
this:
gonna knock out Lomachenko, so it doesn't matter anyway.
if he does knock out Lomachenko, which is a very real possibility,
Never
you
that.
know, I'm just keeping it real. Like I'm picking him to lose, but he can win by knockout. All right. If he does, I want people to keep the same energy they kept with Lomachenko when he fought Walters. Oh, he was inactive because Lomachenko hasn't fought in 15 months.
Ah.
So I want people to
Yeah,
keep
but
the same
they're
energy.
both
The only
inactive though.
problem
They
with
both
No, no,
inactive.
so let me say, no. Let me finish. I want people to keep the same energy. You know, Loma was inactive, so we got to take it away
Well,
from
who?
There's
I
Tio.
only
mean,
one
who?
problem.
Yeah,
There's
Wait,
only
wait,
one
wait,
problem
but
wait.
with
they're
that.
Hold on,
both
hold on.
inactive.
They
They
No,
both.
but
both
let me
been
If I
say
say
real
inactive.
one
quick.
thing,
It has nothing to do with
Okay,
what
well,
I
that's
said.
our
Real
guy.
quick,
That's
okay?
our
okay,
guy.
so
D-Star.
I did not say that if he beats him, he's number one. I said if he clowns of it, if he completely dominates him and stops him in the mid or late rounds, like people are saying. The win versus Comey, you guys can downplay it all you want, bro. That win alone is bigger than any win Crawford's had in years, bro. Okay, name me one fight right now. What's the biggest win of Crawford's career right now?
Ricky Burns.
yeah, no, it's
Are
Victor
you
probably
Gamboa.
fucking
probably still
kidding me,
Gamboa.
dude?
It's
Gamboa.
probably still
Victor
Gamboa.
Postal.
Come on.
It's probably still
Victor
Gamboa.
Gamboa.
Postal.
Ricky.
No,
Victor Postal. Okay, I'll give you Postal.
Well,
Okay,
wait,
but is
undefeated
Postal
Yeah,
really
Gamboa.
that much better than
already
Comey? I think Comey's better than Postal. I think he's
What
way
about
better.
Gamboa?
Yeah, he
Nah.
is.
you can
I
think
Wait,
that.
think
wait,
he's
wait,
better.
wait,
Nah,
wait,
no
hold on, hold on,
way,
hold
Terrible.
on,
no
hold
Is
on,
he
hold
way,
on.
no
terrible?
way.
Wait,
Is he
D-Style,
Nah,
D-Style,
terrible?
let me
nah,
ask
it's
D-Style a
not,
question.
man.
Hold on, let me ask him a
Stop it,
question. D-Style,
D-Style.
wait, hold on, D-Style. Is he better than undefeated Gamboa? Tomei.
No. No, but how
Okay,
many
well,
years
I was
ago
just
was
saying.
fucking
Thank you.
Gamboa, bro?
You know
What's
what?
that?
Actually, yes, he is. Yes, he
What?
is because
No,
Comey.
don't go
Let me
there. Don't
explain.
go
Let me
there.
explain.
Yeah,
Don't
Comey
tell
go
was
him, little
there.
dog. Tell him.
Comey was actually a world champion at 135 pounds,
True.
something Gamboa has never been and never will be.
Wait, go
But
hold up. Gamboa was a
they
two
didn't
division
fight at
champion.
135
Wait,
pounds.
hold
No, he
up.
wasn't. No, he
Yes, he
wasn't.
was. Wait, hold
Crawford.
No,
up.
he wasn't. Interim titles don't count, bro.
No, he
Yep.
was a 126 champion and 130 champion. That's what I'm
No, he
talking about.
won an interim title at 130.
He did?
Yeah,
Against
he
who?
won an interim title, a WBA interim.
It's comparable, bro. Stop
No.
downplaying the Comey win. Stop. Like a lot of people had Comey win.
Okay, here's
Wait,
really what
hold
it
on,
is.
hold on.
Downplay
Gamboa
the
was
shit out of that fight.
Gamboa. Wait,
And
hold
he
up.
was out of the
Gamboa.
ring
Wait, hold
for
on.
a
Let me finish.
year.
Let
He
me
was
finish.
out of the ring for a year.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Gamboa. Oh, you want to talk about that one? Then Lomachenko fight Walters out of the ring for a whole year. So you got to keep
No,
the
he
same
no, he
edge.
wasn't. He was out of the
Hold up,
ring for 11 months and 2 weeks.
hold
Get
up.
it right. It was within a
No,
year.
hold
Okay,
up. Don't go there.
can I ask a
Hold up.
question?
Gamboa was undefeated. He
We're
was a
rounding up
favorite.
to a year.
Wait, hold up. Gamboa was a favorite going into that fight against Crawford. He was rated one of the top 10 pound fighters in the world. So what are you guys talking about?
More fool all the
Well,
idiots
first
who
of all,
Okay,
I
fucking.
can I
said
just say something?
yes.
Can I
Okay,
just say
but
something?
you
Can I
can
just say
name
something?
two
You got
opponents in Crawford's entire career that you could say are better than Comey.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't name
okay.
anybody at 147, and you can't name anybody at 140 other than
Jeff
Okay.
Horn.
That's about it.
Sorry.
Jeff Horn beat
Okay. So,
Manny
if I
Pacquiao.
can get in here, if I can just get in here. First off, Nicholas Walters, before that layoff you're talking about, 15 months. How many fights has he had in that from that 15 months layoff till today?
One fight.
One fight. There you go. That is why you can't bring up Nicholas Walters, because he got him off the couch that he promptly returned to once he figured out he wasn't going to be competitive in the fight. Right. So that's the Nicholas Walters thing is out the window. The other thing about this whole comparison about the one guy, Richard Comey. First off, you can be as high as on Richard Comey as you want to be. He's still only one guy that beat Ray Beltran. Right. That's
True.
really all where Comey is. So if you can say Gamboa or Postal or Horn, at least you have three different guys, and that with better wins than Ray Beltran.
Oh, no, well, first of all, Gamboa was a long time ago.
D-Styles, let me help you out real quick, because D-Styles, the way that you actually said it, I could understand what you're saying, because you're basically saying if Lomachenko schools him, dominates him, and then stops him, which then would give some validity to a pound for pound status. I get it, but maybe not number one, but definitely I could see him going up in the rankings, because that to me would make more sense, right?
Let me ask you guys this, right? buzzard beater in the NBA, it's only 2 points, right? Or 3 points, right? That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what it would be. Like he would get a buzzer beater on Crawford, okay, if he gets that win. If he wins that way. All right. He's right there. Like it's not like he's a mile away from Crawford or some shit. It's not like he has a lot of work to do before he can catch up to Crawford. They're literally right there. Like you cannot, no one here could tell me that in the last 2 years, Crawford's had a better win than that. And in that faction. Nobody can tell me.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question then, D-Style. Who is more accomplished in the ring, Kell Brook or Teofimo Lopez?
Kell Brook is damaged goods, bro.
I understand. And Teofimo is wet behind the ears. Still breath smelling like Similac. To borrow a phrase.
I'd rather be undefeated and 23 years old and a current world champion than a guy who's been knocked out twice and is like 34
Whose best
years
wins
old.
are Nakatami and Richard Comey. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, like there's like this whole.
Who are Kell Brook's best wins?
It was Kell Brook's best wins. I would still probably say Sean Porter
wins more than one. Give me another one.
Hey, hold up.
Why do I have to give you more than one? You have to give me one for Tio.
Kevin Bisley.
You said you gave them Comey, Nakatani.
How about this? Let me just put it this way.
Nakatani somebody?
Guys, hold on. The L-Dog. There's no double standard with Eastern European fighters. Come on, stop it, man.
No, I'm saying it, bro, because listen, I see this. Charlo fights Derevianchenko, gets all the credit for beating him, bro. But Loma schools and makes Walters quit, and it's he was off a layoff, bro. Derevianchenko was more inactive.
Yo, bro, L-Dog, you're getting way out on this one now. You're getting way out. That's way left. That's completely different. That guy fought Triple G and gave Triple G trouble, and then Charlo went in there and done his thing on him. So that's why, like,
he was coming off a loss, bro.
What did Nicholas Waters do against any like okay, beat
Donaire.
Yeah, but Donaire got busted.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but Donaire got beat up and punched. His eye got busted up against Rigo, so it's not the same thing. Triple G,
bro, he's still able to win world titles.
No, but Triple G's a machine, bro. Like no one's ever looked good on him against Black Chico guy. So
the problem that you have with this Nicholas Walters thing is that Nicholas Walters was semi-retired and went to full retired. Like it wasn't about the layoff. It's about the fact that dude was out of boxing and is completely out of boxing.
Oh, come on, man. But this is the thing. I just see some double standards. Like, I see it. They want to give credit. Like, I feel like Lomachenko is either, overpraised or really underpraised. Like, I think
because you are the one overpraising him. Here, let me help you out.
I'm not overpraising him.
He could have the Walters win. He could have the Walters win. There you go.
So
I'm not overpraising him.
Here's the thing is, I'm just trying. Let me help you out with your understanding the double standard, right? So Derevianchenko was definitely out of the ring for some time. Derevianchenko was coming off of a fight against a first ballot Hall of Famer who people said he won.
Oh, come on, bro. Donaire is way better than Triple G when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Triple G doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not even saying anything about Donaire. I'm not saying anything about Donaire versus Triple G. Here's the difference between Donaire and Triple G. Here's the deal, right? So Triple G has been beaten up by nobody. Like the best, his losses and his draw are both controversial. Nicholas Donaire, that loss he had to Rigo, that wasn't controversial. Nicholas Walters himself was not an active fighter before or after.
What do you mean? He fought 10 rounds within the span of a year.
I mean, the only reason he got a fight, he got off the couch was for a payday, and he didn't even show up to win.
See, you're making excuses, bro. He only went for a payday. Fine, I'm going to say the same thing about Derevianchenko. He only went for a payday. He wasn't even trying. See, anyone can say that, dude. Anyone can say that.
Yes, anyone can say it.
Let's stop discrediting other fighters' wins and let's give them praise for the achievements they've done.
L-Dog, just because it's easy to say doesn't mean it's not true.
No, but what I want to say is let's stop discrediting fighters' wins and let's give them praise where it's due.
Nobody's discrediting it. You are accusing a bias. You are
double standards. People hold Lomachenko to different standards. They say the same thing about Rigo, but they don't do it with Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, man.
All right, so I don't think that people.
No, they do though.
I don't think Triple G gets credit for beating Kell Brook the same way I don't think Spence gets the credit for beating Mikey Garcia. The same way I don't think Loma gets credit for beating Rigo. Everybody says the same damn thing. Nobody brings those up as their best fights.
All right, good.
Mikey Garcia was probably more, like nobody's like, oh yeah, Triple G beat Kell Brook.
This is great talk, man. Let me just say that. But I will say this: I still stand by what I say. It's not. I don't want to hear everybody if he wins a close, razor thin decision, or I don't want to hear anything. But if he dominates and stops this kid, okay, then I'm I'm gonna put Lomachenko number one. Just because Canelo, first of all, he's wrapped up in litigation. He hasn't fought in a while. He's gonna be wrapped up like with that DAZN lawsuit for a while, right? And Crawford, frankly, and I don't blame him 100% for this, but facts are facts. He hasn't fought anybody in a very long time, right? And
I agree to that.
Yeah, I agree too.
It's not that out of the question. And I'm not saying, I just think people are making it seem like I'm jumping Lomachenko from number 13 to number 1 with this win. Nah, I think he's knocking on the door right there.
Wait,
I think
what? You have him number 13 pound for pound?
No.
He's making the point. He's making the point. I get
I'm
it.
saying people are making it seem like I have him number 13, and then if he wins, he jumps to number 1. No, I have him like 2-3. You know what I mean? It's not that far off to me.
Hamid, I agree.
All of these
Lomachenko, all of these TO fans, well, not all of them, a lot of TO fans are just Loma haters in disguise, bro. They think the guy's overrated, they think he's privileged, and they want to see him lose. But what they fail to realize is the guy's making these stupid claims. Like, the number one guy is Bob Arum. He's his fucking promoter. What's he gonna say? Oh, Loma's good, but he's nothing like, we've seen him before, he's like the next Devin Alexander, he'll win world titles, but he ain't that good. Like, come on, the guy's gonna say it. He said about Terence Crawford, he's the next Sugar Ray Leonard, come on, man. The guy, this is a promoter. They exaggerate things.
You know what? I agree with that point. People got to stop getting mad at promoters for promoting their fighter. You know what I mean? That's what.
Would you rather Oscar De La Hoya hating on his fighter or Bob Arum?
I will say this though, dog. I mean, he did throw Riggin down to the bus though, right? After he beat Donaire, he wouldn't.
I agree. And I'm gonna tell you this: I was rooting for Rigondeaux to beat Lomachenko. People find this crazy. I'm a huge Rigondeaux fan.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
All right. No. At the time, my favorite YouTube channels were like Dante's Boxing Nation or whatever. I've come a long way since then, but
now you're trolling. Now you're trolling.
No. I'm saying like what people don't realize is that I actually like Rigo, man. His style isn't the most exciting, but I really hope this guy.
Can I just hey, L Dog, I want you to finish, but if I can just interject. One thing you have to give Boxing Ego credit for. That rematch room is he's definitely living up to that dig right there, Eddie Hearn with the rematch room comment.
Listen, I also like the term complexion for protection. I think it's kind of funny, to be honest. I don't agree with it.
That's older than Boxing Ego. That's old. That's
okay,
that phrase is older than Boxing Ego.
Hey, Champ Ross, listen, I feel like a lot of Eastern European fighters they get just done over by boxing in general because they're not the A side, man. It's the same with the African fighters and the Cuban fighters. Like, that's why I root for these guys, man. I root for Cubans, and I was actually rooting for Rigo because he was old. I thought this was one of his chances to really define himself, but it is what it is, man.
Let me say this: if Arturo Gotti's in the Hall of Fame, Triple G's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Triple G is definitely a Hall of Famer. But I just wanted to say, L Dog, Teofimo and Lomachenko only fought 2 months apart. Nice try.
What's he done to be a Hall of Famer? What's Triple G done to be a Hall of Famer?
EJ, I mean, if you have Arturo Gotti in the Hall of Fame.
No.
But we're talking about what it should be.
He defended his belt. He defended that regular belt. How many times, EJ, bro?
Yeah, but he was in great fights, man. Like Hall of Fame fights. Like, what's Triple G done?
Triple G has been in a lot of Okay, so Triple G has been in a lot of championship. I'm telling you, what he's done is he's been in a lot of championship fights. He's a silver medalist, and he's fought another Hall of Famer a couple of times with some really great fights.
Yeah, he's been in good fights, man. Listen, he's a product of his environment, bro. Like the people around him is just not. I don't blame Triple G for not getting the best fights. He's a good fighter, in my opinion. I think he's a good fighter.
Yeah, I don't. It's like this, man. Like, this is the way you do it, EJ. Okay, if you have to in 2 pages write about a whole decade of boxing, if you can't write about that decade without putting that dude's name in it, right? Then he's Hall of Fame.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just
His
say
name won't
this.
get in there. Canelo's name will get in there. Like his name not getting in there.
You're right about Triple G in those 2 pages of a decade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me just say this.
He ain't winning
Triple G, look, I've been critical of his resume and his competition throughout his, prime days of his career. But as I've said several times, and I said on my one of my previous hangouts or live streams, is that he did fight the best competition that was available. He was the only guy cleaning out most of the middleweights that were in the top 10. Pretty much, we don't regard them as great fighters, but they were rated in the top 10. You got to give Golovkin credit for that. Now, will he retire, become a Hall of Famer? I agree he does, based off that factor alone. And he is a two-time champion, IBF, that is. I don't count that regular title. Now, does he rank against all the top middleweights like Hagler, like
No.
No, of course not.
Nah.
Like the Mickey Walker,
Nah.
no, not Mickey Walker. I'm sorry, Harry Greb, Tiger Flowers, those type of guys. No, not even
No,
close.
but I mean, but you don't need to be that. Like, you don't have to be an all-time great Hall of Famer, right? You can just be a Hall
You're
of
right.
Famer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And he's
You
just
know,
a regular Hall of
You can
Famer.
be,
Yeah.
you can be Donald Curry.
Let me ask the question:
you
Who's
can be
better?
Arturo
Who's better? Who's
Plus,
better?
with
Can-
Julian
hold on.
Montero
Let me
loading, there ain't no way
who's the
Triple G's
better Hall
not
of
getting
Famer?
in.
Now listen. Who's got a better resume? Kelly Pavlik or Triple G?
Who?
I would say
Kelly
Pavlik.
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 Kelly Pavlik should be a Hall of Famer. Then by that rights, Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik should be a Hall of Famer.
Hey, that
Taylor.
And
Yeah,
I
Nate
want
Taylor
to
was
say,
great.
I want to
the
say
only
this to
problem is
clarify.
okay.
Jermaine
So
Taylor,
what
not
was
Jermaine
what was Kelly Pavlik's amateur accolades?
Don't matter.
Yeah, amateur.
No,
they
no,
do.
no. But
Yeah,
amateur
it does
does
matter.
actually
It
matter
does
because
matter.
The
it
Yeah.
has
problem is
to
it does
have.
matter. The problem is it does
Wait,
matter.
hold up.
No, hold up.
Why do you think Loma's getting in? You think Loma's
Wait.
getting in because he's had
It's
15
not about
fights as
that.
a pro?
It's not about
Hold up,
that.
hold up,
Laszlo
real
Papp is
quickly,
in the
real
Hall of
quick. Wait,
Fame.
hold up,
Teofilo Stevenson is in the Hall of Fame.
hold up, hold up. If the amateurs mean so much, then why isn't Leon Spinks in the Hall of Fame? Because he had a great amateur career. He beat Muhammad Ali in his pro fight. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
Why isn't
Leon
he in the Hall
Spinks
of Fame?
not in the
Because of
Hall
what
of
he did as a pro. Like, it's not. You guys are creating a false dichotomy. It's
He
amateur
beat
and
Muhammad
pro.
Ali. He beat
No, right. It's amateur and pro. I know he beat Muhammad Ali, and that's what he did as a pro. Beat Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
You're saying he's not in the Hall of Fame? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying that Leon Spinks is currently not in the Hall of Fame, right? And I don't think he will be in the Hall of Fame, even though he is, undisputed champ in his 8th fight.
Isn't he a
right?
speaker for the Hall of Fame? What do you mean he's not in the Hall of Fame? Are you sure about
Larry
that?
Spinks is not
No.
in the Hall of Fame. Michael Spinks is in the Hall of Fame, not Leon Spinks.
Can I just add something with Triple G?
think
When
he's
I
in
say
the Hall of Fame,
he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame,
Go ahead.
it's based on his resume, man. I think the guy had potential to be in the Hall of Fame, but unfortunately, a lot of guys they did duck him, mismanagement in Germany, whatever. A lot of things didn't go his way. If he had got the Pirog fight, the Sturm fight, the Martinez fight, I have no doubt he would have beaten all of those guys, or at least the majority of them. And he would have
I
got
think
them.
P-Rock would have beat him, bro. Just my opinion.
Well, we can have that debate, but there's a good chance he would have got these fights. He would have been a bigger name, and he would have got other fights earlier, and he would have won a lot of these fights. But the truth is, he didn't, and it's a shame. But for that reason, I'm not putting him in. I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame has a stupid rule where you have to induct people. Why do we have to induct a certain amount of people, man? Why?
Yo, but do you still think? I got a question, though. Wait, real quick. I got a question for L Dog. Do you still think Hagler has a better resume, though?
Yeah, I think Hagler has a better resume.
Yeah, we was all
Whether
here for that
Hagler
one.
would have
Yeah,
whether
you're on the wrong
Hagler would
panel
have
for
beaten
that one.
Triple G, well, that's another debate.
What?
Yes.
Well, Hagler would have smoked him. Hagler would have smoked him. You know that.
Well, I mean,
Hagler
You
would
know
have
what? You know what?
Let
Let
me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you a question. If you think it wasn't for the 2 gold medals that Loma has in the amateurs, that he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Oh no.
After Saturday, 100%.
No, I'm saying, do you think that Loma gets in
No,
on just his
I would
professional record alone?
I would just add real quickly. Simon Brown should be in the Hall of Fame. He had a very good amateur career. He was a damn good pro too. So why isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
Wait.
Exactly.
So,
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Simon Brown.
You guys think Rigondeaux will be a Hall of Famer?
Nope. Nope.
What about Felix Diaz? He's a gold medalist.
Nope.
No, but these guys,
I think
their
Rigo
amateur
will.
careers do not
I disagree with you guys. I think
Loma.
Rigo will be in the Hall of Fame.
When you dissect Lomachenko's amateur record, it is outstanding. Like when you really look at not only the gold medals that he won, but the future gold medalists that he beat in the amateurs. He beat 2 future gold medalists as well as winning the 2 gold
Bro,
medals. So
Hey, can I say
beat
this?
a
Hold
Hall
on,
of
I've been
Famer.
ready to say this.
Rigo
'Cause you
beat
guys
a
are going
Hall
back
of
and
Famer.
forth.
Just
Wait,
got
hold
his
on, one at a
career.
time.
Hold up, hold up.
One at a time. D
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Check it out. Look, hey, L Dog. Like, if Triple G was fighting Hagler's era, he might be lucky enough to work a week or two as a sparring partner. You know, one of the rotation sparring
get the
partners.
fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen all of Hagler's championship fights, bro.
I've seen it too.
Triple G would have smoked a lot of these guys,
Based
bro.
on what, bro? It's called the halo effect. This was fighting better
Triple
fighters than
G would have fucked
did.
up Vito
Okay?
Antuofermo, bro. He would have fucked him up. That guy cuts
Like the
no
way
other. Triple G.
did you watch the Kasim Uma fight? Have you seen that fight?
Kasi.
Kasim
Oh,
Uma
okay.
with
So you want to talk about how Triple G
I
got
seen
off the plane like 3 hours before the fight?
Oh, no excuses, bro. No
Oh,
excuses.
come
No
Don't do
on,
that.
excuses. But okay,
pathetic, bro.
okay,
Don't
Kasim
If he
Uma.
struggled with
Hold
Kasim
up.
Uma, ain't no way he's
Kasim,
gonna fucking Hagler
okay,
there. I'm
he
telling you that right
struggled
now.
with Kasim Uma. No way he beats a Daniel Jacobs, right? Oh, wait, that's not how it
Well, I don't
works,
think he
right?
won that fight. Actually, that's a really close fight.
Okay.
Actually.
You know, Pacquiao
No,
struggled with a Jeff Horn. No way he beats a Keith Thurman. Sometimes specific fighters struggle against different fighters,
against
even if they're not as
Akasuyuma, though,
good.
of all people.
dude, he
Styles,
struggled
bro.
with
Styles
Kasim
make
Uma, bro.
fights.
Come on, bro. He got off the plane here. Get the hell out of here, bro.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather struggled against Castillo. There's no way he beats a Manny
Wait, don't
Pacquiao
compare
or a
Castillo.
Miguel
Wait,
Cotto.
hold on. Do not compare Jose Luis Castillo to Casuyuma.
I'm just trying to figure out how
Don't
that
do that.
Man, you know what?
correlates
You
to
know what? I
Triple
changed my
G.
mind,
No,
bro.
what
He
I'm
be
saying
carrying a
is
spit
the
bucket
logic.
for
No,
this
the
dude.
logic isn't consistent here, man. Just because someone struggles with a fighter who isn't as good as another fighter doesn't mean they can't beat that other fighter. Sometimes fighters have off nights. Sometimes styles make fights, man.
Of
Think
course.
about the fights that who was it that gave Floyd Emmanuel
And Hagler
Augustus?
did it for 2
Emmanuel
decades, bro.
Augustus
What?
gave Floyd a hell of a fight.
Yeah,
Hagler was a top middleweight for 2 decades, dude. Okay.
I agree, but I
Okay.
think Triple G would have ran through a lot of the middleweights Hagler fought. Now, you know,
would he have ran
he
through
would
Tommy
have.
Hearns? Wait, would
okay.
he have ran through Tommy Hearns or Roberto
He
Duran?
hardly ran
No,
through
but
the
I'm talking
middleweights he
about the
fought
career
currently.
middleweights. I'm talking about the career middleweights he fought. Like,
No, don't do that, L Doc. Don't do that because I know you tried this before.
no, I
Hagler,
lost
Duran. Wait,
that
hold up,
debate, and I
Hearns.
admit it.
Wait, hold up.
EJ
Don't.
smoked me in that debate, bro.
I
But
know,
I'm
but don't
saying,
do that. I'm just saying though, do not discredit
Okay. He
Hagler
already
and Hearns.
admitted. He already admitted about that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though, you can't just say career middleweights. Don't do that. Don't do that. Use that equation there. When Hagler and Hearns fought, I'm sorry, when Hearns fought Hagler, when Duran fought Hagler, they were considered middleweights. Yes, they were legendary small guys, but they're considered middleweights. So please don't do that, man. You got to give them
okay,
credit.
fair
Yeah,
enough. I wasn't
So they
around then.
moved
Are
I
you,
have,
and I will
familiar with
also add
Rummy's
to,
Corner? Are you familiar
yeah,
with Rummy's Corner, L Dog?
yeah.
yeah, I
Okay,
know.
like
Let
he
me
does
say
this really nice thing, like where he kind of like says where they were ranked in the ring rankings. Like Hagler was up there for 2 decades, bro. Okay,
No,
so
I'm
I
not
get that
saying
everyone
Triple
has
G is
off
better.
nights and all that, but at the end of the day, he did it far. If you want to take it to that, then he was more consistent for far longer against much better opposition in a much harder era than Triple G.
Yeah, let me also add to Hearns and Duran would have beat almost all the guys that Triple G fought and beat. All of them. All of them. I'll put my money on that.
I agree with that.
Rosario would smoke Duran, bro. What are you talking about?
No, but let me ask you guys this: like, do you really think Triple G wouldn't have been able to beat Vito Antuofermo?
That'd been a tough fight, but he probably had a good chance beating.
Oh,
Maybe.
come on.
You know what?
Antuofermo
I
cut.
tell you why. I tell you why. Yeah, the 15. If you remember, they used to fight 15 rounds regular, and I'm trying to say with Triple G and the way he used to like them fight them guys at 154. You gotta understand, yeah, that would be a proper fight. Like Triple G couldn't just roll up on Vito. Vito in his prime. Vito was a tough, rough guy, bro. Like these guys are real tough 15 rounds, hard guys. Like that's why I don't think people will understand. Hagler was fighting 15 rounds, man. The last one he fought with against Leonard, that was 12, but before that, they were all 15. Hagler won't let them go 15.
Hagler was a top contender in the 70s, and he was the man in the 80s. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not
So-
denying that Hagler is better than Triple G. I'm just saying, like, to say that Triple G would have just been a sparring partner in the Hagler era, get the fuck out of here,
I'm
bro.
just
He
trying to
would have
get you
been
triggered, bro. That's
he
all.
would have been a contender, bro. He would have been a contender.
But would he have L Dog, would he have won those titles when the Hagler was reigning? Yes or no?
Probably not. I think Hagler got
I'm
more
gonna be real.
level.
I think it would be a good fight, but I think
Yeah,
Hagler would beat him like
I think it would
convincingly.
be a fight of the year. It would be like a fight of the year type
Because let's be
fight
real,
where,
Triple G is gonna come to fight, right? But I think Hagler
yeah,
would beat his body down, just beat him up, and it'd be a war. But I think Hagler
No, but
would
who's
just
Triple
whoop
G
him.
faced? Who's Triple G faced that hits harder than him? He's always facing guys that he has the advantage over power, apart from Canelo. Like that's like 50-50.
Lemieux.
Lemieux hits
Well,
harder.
Lemieux was not that good technically.
Come
Nah,
on.
well,
Nah, but he did hit
Derevchenko,
hard. He did hit hard.
Yeah, but
Derevchenko,
But
but
Hagler's just better in every single department when you think about it. Other than like Canelo, Hagler's just
Triple
better.
G got a
Switch
better
hits.
jab.
Come on, man.
Hagler's
Uh,
Can we stop
versatile
with
for
the
his
Hagler
just
clout chase?
yeah.
Can we just stop with the Hagler
I'm
clout
just
chase?
saying, like
Like, why are we
Hey,
just
hold up.
mentioning Triple G and
No,
Hagler?
but
Like,
either
Oh.
way, like I don't even think it would be a war. He's too versatile for.
Yeah, hold on. Let me say so. Jalik says that Canelo versus Hearns, he got Canelo beating Hearns at 160.
yes, yeah.
Keep dreaming,
Hey,
Jalik.
yo, Dan, I got big money on some fantasy football, so I need Kamara to score me a bunch of points, and I'm gonna go get ready to go watch that game. So peace out,
All right,
everybody.
brother. All right, brother.
All right,
Peace
dude.
out, man. Peace out. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm reading the comments in the chat. Yeah, peace out, D style. Ernest Terry says, "Hell no, that would not have been a good fight." He's talking about Triple G versus
well, I'm
Hagler.
saying that because Triple G got a chin, right? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say the dude don't got a chin on him. He definitely got it. You could tell he got a beard on him. So I'm not gonna say Hagler just gonna knock him the fuck out. Nah, he gonna be there. I think he goes as long as the fight You know, if Hagler knocks him out, I don't know if he does that, but Hagler's definitely gonna whoop him. I think Hagler definitely beats him. You know, I don't know if he stops him though.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
let's not be these people who say like, "Oh, Hagler stops him in like 5 rounds." Bro, Triple G's chin, his skills are good enough to last more than 5 rounds. I'm saying I think Hagler is better, right? But I know D-Star said it to wind me up, but that is a narrative I've heard a lot. That Triple G would just be like a sparring partner, bro. He would be a contender. He would be a
Yeah, but he
contender.
would not have won those titles against when Hagler was reigning. Let's be real. I just don't see him. He probably would lose to Hearns, or definitely he would lose to Hearns. He would definitely lost to Durant. So
Would he lose
Like,
to Hearns?
hell
Bro?
no. The
Don't
dude
you
would have
think
been.
he has enough power to knock out Hearns? Like Thomas Hearns' chin wasn't the best. Let's be real.
Okay, so
Well,
can we
sometimes it
just
was very
stop with the?
difficult to
Can we
get to
stop?
Tommy Hearns. No, hold
Can
up.
we
It was
stop?
difficult to get to Tommy Hearns in some cases. I mean, look,
But Triple
let's be
G has tremendous
but
timing, and he's
yeah,
got
he has
great
yeah,
tremendous
but
timing. He has
ability to
tremendous
take the
timing
ring
for a
off.
12-round fighter. Like they're not the same eras. Like we don't know what Triple G looks like in a 15-round fight
well,
because the
let's
dude has
put it this way:
literally never fought a 15-round fight.
does Triple G have better? Does he come off the ring better than Leonard and Hagler? Could he do that better than those two guys? Did he have faster feet than those two guys?
No.
No, he didn't. So how are you going to catch Hearns then? Because he's
Well,
too slow.
he's gonna catch him eventually, bro. Like everyone gets caught in a boxing match, bro. Everyone gets hit.
Can I just respond to Kurt Sugar one time? Yeah,
Oh, go
Kurt,
ahead.
he's serious. He's not going to actually explain any of it. He's going to divert. He'll talk about anything but his point. But yes, he is serious. He thinks Canelo will beat somebody that
Tommy Hearns. At
Look,
160.
man, let me explain it
All
for
right, what's up,
Jalik.
IBT?
Yeah,
Go
what's up, man? Let me explain his logic, right? Canelo, his gloves, they're red, right? And Tommy Hearns' gloves they're white in this case, and the sun is at an angle in which Canelo beats him. That's it. That's his explanation.
All right, fair enough. And Ernest Terry says
It's because Tommy Hearns, his neck was hurting the morning he woke up for the fight because he slept wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I agree about like fantasy fights. Sometimes I think we just overdo it. We will never know who actually wins these fights. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of pointless to talk about
For
them.
all
But
we know, Triple G might have had his fucking number, or Hagler might have had his number.
yeah.
No, Jalik just likes the fighters that he sees, and he actually picks those guys to beat the fighters, the greats that he didn't grow up watching.
Yeah, well, fair
I
enough.
mean, I kind of agree.
Jalik just thinks Floyd beats everybody. He thinks Floyd
Everyone,
beats
everything.
Hearns, Duran, everybody.
You know what I'm thinking now? Maybe he just hates Hearns because both times they've involved Hearns.
Well, I mean, look, they were close fights. It depends how you. I mean, if you're referring to Triple G versus Canelo, are you guys talking about those two fights?
Triple G versus Canelo were good fights. I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking. Like, I feel like you guys have your own criteria for the Hall of Fame that is completely untethered from the Hall of Fame.
Wait. Hold up, Smoke. Julie just
Julius
asked a
here.
question. Julie said who the Hearns beat? That was when he was an underdog. He beat Virgil Hill at light
Yeah,
heavyweight.
yeah.
So
Virgil
that's
Hill.
your.
I don't know if you heard that guy before. Decent fighter, Virgil Hill. Yeah,
No,
he
he
was
was a good fighter. He was a
yeah,
very
no,
good light heavyweight. Hall
I'm
of Famer.
exaggerating. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
exaggerating.
just.
Hills
Oh,
was
okay.
like a 3-1 favorite, and he beat him and took his
But
title.
yeah, go ahead, guys. I just wanted to ask that question, but go ahead,
I was
Smoke.
just gonna say, like the how everybody just like, no, Rigo's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how you figure that. I think Rigo.
I don't think so.
I got Rigo going in there. I didn't agree with that.
You know what?
Rigo's
Yeah, I think so. He got a win over Donia, and he's got those 2 gold medals in the amateurs.
Yeah, he's got
Whether people like it or
he
not,
got in there
those
with Loma.
amateurs do count.
And yeah, he got in there with Loma too. Like to tell the story of Loma, you have to tell the story of Rigo.
Well, hey, I mean, this whole Canelo and Hearns debate is really lighting up the chat here. The Raiders said
I
that
will say
Canelo.
this: something Smoke said that doesn't make a lot of sense. He said like Rigo actually beat a Hall of Famer, so like he should be in the Hall of Fame as opposed to like Lomachenko.
No,
But by that
I didn't say Lomachenko couldn't be in. Listen,
Oh,
Lomachenko
okay.
is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Because I was
think
going to say, by
Lomachenko and
that logic, Lomachenko would have to be in the Hall of Fame because he
Lomachenko is
beat Rigo.
definitely Lomachenko is definitely getting in the Hall of Fame. So is Nonito Donaire. That's my point. Is all 3 of these guys are going to the Hall of Fame.
I don't know, Smoke. I think you're putting in too many guys. Like maybe I don't know. If you saw this last ballot that we had, right? There are like 2 or 3 guys who can definitely go in and just might not make it because you can only have 3 people at a time, right? Me personally, for the recent ballot, I'd put Floyd Mayweather, James Toney, and then the 3rd slot you could put either Cotto, you can put Bradley, you could put Andre Ward. Really, those
What
are the
about Klitschko?
sorry, Klitschko. Yeah, it's really stacked. Like you can have
Klitschko's
Miguel
the first
Cotto.
ballot, bro.
Okay,
Yeah, but
maybe.
all those guys are getting in. All those guys are getting in though. All those
Yeah.
guys getting in.
Eventually,
They might not be first ballot, but they're all
possibly.
getting in.
Eventually, possibly, but I don't know. I just don't see like if Regan Dow was in that pool, does he make it out? I don't think so. If
No, he's
Lomachenko's in
not.
that
But he's
pool,
not going to be in that
he
pool.
doesn't
He's
make
going to
it
be in the
out.
pool with. He's going to be in the pool with Sean Porter.
No, he's not. Sean, I don't think.
Porter's not even a Hall of
I
Famer.
just don't see it. Yeah, he's.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying. But that's what I'm saying. He's going to be in that pool. He's going to be in the pool with Mercer's Ray
no.
Mercer.
I'm gonna
He's gonna
say
be in
this.
the
No,
pool
I'm
with
gonna say this.
No,
Wait,
no,
hold up.
no.
I'm gonna say this. Hold up, IBT. Hold up. I'm
Kevin
gonna say
Johnson,
this.
Kevin Kelly.
Hold up, Smoke. Let me just say this. I might be biased because I'm Jamaican, right? But Simon Brown, if Sean Porter gets in the Hall of Fame and Simon Brown doesn't get it, I'm gonna be pissed off. That's all I
No,
got.
I'm not.
I don't think either
Yes,
get it.
I don't think. I don't think Sean Porter is going to get in. I think Rigo is going to get in over Sean Porter. Is my point.
Oh,
No.
breaking news. WBC president Mauricio Suleiman. Direct quote. Lomachenko is the WBC lightweight champion. He
Yeah,
won
yeah,
and
I saw
petitioned
that.
for franchise. The franchise is put above any champion in lightweight.
Yeah,
So
bullshit,
Lomachenko is in
bullshit.
fact champion with special attributes. He
Oh,
doesn't have to
bullshit.
face the
Hold
mandatories.
on. Let me ask
He's the
this.
WBC
He's
God
the greatest
champion.
in
Wait,
Bali.
hold up, Wait,
So
what
wake me
does
up when Mendoza says something. When
not
when
Mendoza?
everybody
You
else
mean
agrees with
Miss
Mauricio,
Suleiman?
then I'm with it.
Well,
No, he
first of
means
all,
Mendoza.
until then, if the franchise champion is able to schedule to fight a mandatory, then I'll believe that would be a legitimate title. That's all I got to say.
Oh,
Fuck that franchise.
that's what Teal's gonna win on Saturday. Got it.
Yeah, that's not an undisputed fight. Until that franchise champion does defend that title against a mandatory, I don't want to hear shit about it. That's
Yeah,
all I got to
exactly.
say.
Ryan Garcia, and Luke Campbell are fighting to fight who? Are they fighting to fight the Devin Haney belt? Or are they fighting for the Loma belt?
They're fighting for the WBC Super God franchise belt.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't let me just say this. I'm not trying to tell anybody to think how they should think, but for the life of me, you cannot consider WBC franchise title as a legit title just because freaking Suleiman comes out and want to legitimize it ahead of the weekend's fight
It's
with
the most prestigious belt. Come on,
Can
man.
I say this
uh,
just quickly? If I agree, if Loma loses, I won't recognize it, but if he wins, I will.
What the fuck? Why?
Because I'm biased, bro. I'm being
fuck
honest
outta
here.
here, man.
I'm being honest. Bro,
All
I
right,
ain't about the facts, man. I'm about pushing my narratives, man.
Hey,
fair
yo,
enough.
salute.
Salute. Fair enough. Oh, fuck that.
I'm
Like
gonna
I said
start the
again, until you
EEBC.
defend that franchise champion defend against a mandatory that I would, or a top 10 fighter at least, then okay, fine. We'll give it
Look,
some truth.
I would definitely be all on board if Loma fought somebody other than Luke Campbell for a vacant title.
Well, first of all, he should never duck his mandatory Devin Haney. That's what the thing is.
Can
Okay?
I ask you like a scenario? Let's say the WBC franchise is like that. What if he voluntarily fights Haney next, but the belts are not transferable, but he still beats Haney? Like,
He'll
would
get
we
credit,
call him
but
undisputed then?
no, because the belt's not on the line. Unless Davey, well, Haney has the title, right? He has the title, so yeah, that would be on the line.
Yeah, so he's saying after this fight, let's say Lomachenko is victorious, and then he fights Devin Haney, and he beats Devin Haney. Is he undisputed, or is the
Yeah,
belt
but
void?
let's say he can't get the belt. Like, if he beats a WBC champion, he can't get the belt. Like, in that case, I would say it's, come on, we got to call him undisputed
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point.
that
He
right.
beat the
Of course he
guy,
is.
but
Yeah, because that is like, I guess it is a consolidation of the WBC belt, as you want to call it. But at the
Listen,
same time,
yeah,
to
but
me,
no,
look, here's the way,
sorry.
hold on, Smoke. Just the way I look at it, it's a title that's very equivalent to the emeritus status. Like, for example, if you retire, the WBC installs you as emeritus champion. So, which means if you come out of retirement, you get an automatic shot at the champion, like Sally did against Samuel Peter. So that's the way I
Speaking
look
of
at it.
Samuel Peter, I'm going. This is exactly where I'm going. There's a term that was popularized, and I think it might have been expressly even created for Vladimir Klitschko, and that's the idea of the universally recognized champ, right? So the European, he can get the universally recognized. He's not undisputed until he gets all the belts. There's a dispute.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, Jalik,
man, Bermain Stavern would have beat him. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. So Jalik just hopped in here. What's up, Jalik?
Yeah,
Yo,
Romain Stavern might have beat the hell out of him. He definitely. That's the other part.
No shot. No shot.
No, you
No
stop. He
damn
might have beat
shot.
the actual.
No
Here's the thing.
shot.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal
Oh
about
my
Vladimir
God.
about your boy Vladimir Klitschko. He was dog shit without Emmanuel Stewart his entire life.
Hey,
His
yeah,
entire
too
career
bad he had
was
Emmanuel
predicated
Stewart. Too
on
bad he had
Emmanuel
Emmanuel Stewart then. Too bad he had him then. That sucks.
But he didn't have him then.
That sucks really badly.
But he didn't have him then. That's why he lost to Fury because he didn't have Emmanuel Stewart.
Oh well,
Yeah,
Emmanuel
Bermain Stavern
Stewart
would have
died.
blocked and
Well,
knocked
Emmanuel
his
Stewart
ass
died
out.
3 years before that, but I'm just saying.
But Main Stavern, okay, the fight before that, he also didn't have Emmanuel Stewart. What I'm
Yo,
saying to you,
Chris
what I'm
Arreola.
saying to
Chris,
you-
two
what I'm
Chris
saying to you-
Arreola wins. Make you beat Vladimir Klitschko. Damn.
No, I'll
tell you that Arreola.
I have to agree with
wait,
IBC.
hold on. I
Stavern
just
would
went to
not-
get
wait,
a
hold
drink
on.
of water. What is Smoke saying, bro?
He's
What is
saying,
Smoke saying?
okay, listen, I agree Vladimir Klitschko was never undisputed. I will never claim as such. But he was clearly, very, very clearly, the number one heavyweight, right?
He was
very,
not clearly. No, he was not.
very clearly the number one heavyweight
No,
in the
he was
division.
not clear. Very
And
clearly.
let me
What he
let
was
me
was
fill
the
in.
universal
Let
recognized.
IBC
Let me
finish.
let me fill in L Dog because he went to go get a water. I envy you, L Dog. Then I said, yeah, man, right? Because he's not undisputed technically until he has all the titles. I said, yeah, but he's the clear number one. You know, we all know Bermain Stavern would have beat his ass as a joke. And then Smoke goes, yeah.
Ah, for fuck's sake, Smoke.
Yeah.
Stop it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it.
Hold up. Let me
Hold on, let me
respond
say
to what
this
he
real
just said.
quickly.
Let me just respond to what he just
Wait,
said.
real quickly.
I don't think it is a foregone conclusion that Bermain Stavern would have beat Vlad. So if you're going there with your point, that's not what I'm saying, right? So the scenario that he just laid out for you guys, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Vladimir Klitschko was the universally recognized. Whether he was the clear number one,
he was.
Okay, first off, his brother.
What fucking
Okay,
debate
let me finish. Let me finish. If you're saying that he was the clear number one after his brother retired, right?
IBC. Hey, look, Smoke. I know you always Smoke. Let me just respond real quickly.
You're not listening to me. If you're
Let me
saying
respond to you real quickly.
are you saying
wait,
that
hold up. Let me respond to you real quickly, and then you can respond back. Okay.
You're not even letting me to say what I'm saying. So how are you gonna respond to it?
Well, okay.
Let me just say it. Let me just say it.
Let me just make it real
unless Vladimir Klitschko beats Vitaly Klitschko, then he is not the clear number one.
Oh, okay. I knew you were gonna go with that, but let me just say this. Smoke. I know you don't. It may you, regardless what you say about Vladimir Klitschko in his career. I get all that. I get what you're saying, but the point is this: the point about Vitaly. Vitaly retired up until the time that Vladimir was dominating at that point. Okay,
Vlad was
and
overhyped, bro.
yeah, he was all right, but he fought all the best fighters over there. Okay, he
But he did
undefeated.
not. But he also
Wait,
didn't do that either.
wait, yes, he did. He beat
But he
undefeated
didn't do
Eddie
that either.
Chambers.
He
He
didn't
beat
fight his
undefeated
brother. He didn't
Povetkin.
fight. He
He
didn't fight his
beat
brother. He didn't
undefeated
fight.
Chagayev. Hold up, hold
Okay.
up. He
Okay.
beat undefeated Chagayev. He beat undefeated Walk. He beat undefeated Brian Jennings. He beat all the top ten heavyweights at the time as ring
Bro,
and collecting their belts in a bronze
bro,
and
they
too.
weren't the top
Wait,
10
hold up,
heavyweights.
hold. Yes, they
Okay.
were. Smoke.
Okay,
Yes,
so where was
they
Chris
were.
Arreola? Where was Deontay Wilder? Where's Bermain Stavern? Where was
Deontay,
Vitaly Klitschko?
why are you talking about Deontay Wilder? If Deontay Wilder's own manager said that he was a baby and he wasn't ready for that
Wait,
fight.
wait,
If you
hold
wanna
up.
talk about
Beyonce,
Chris
wait,
Arreola,
hold
that's
up. Let
because
me
he didn't
respond
get
to
the
that.
opportunity
I,
because the other
hold
kicked
up.
his ass
Okay,
already.
Beyonce,
I'll tell you. Okay,
hold
so
up,
now
hold
you're
up, hold up. Let
conflating
me
the issue.
respond to that real quickly.
There's a difference.
Deontay
There's a
Wilder
difference.
was
Let me
wait,
finish.
smoke,
Okay,
smoke.
go ahead.
Deontay Wilder was a prospect, so you got to leave him out of the equation. Now,
Prospect
basically,
after in 2015 when he won a title, he was a prospect.
are you
His
talking
own
about that
manager
time?
called him
Oh,
a
if you want to
That's
go
baby.
when
there,
he.
hold up, hold up. Wait, when you want
That's
to
when
go there,
Vitaly retired.
if you want to go
That's when
there,
Vitaly
then
retired.
wait, hold up. If you want to go there, Wilder ducked that fight. If you want to
Okay.
go there, he
Okay.
did.
Do I want to go? Okay. So Wilder ducked the
He-
fight. Let's stay there. Let's stay there for a second.
I gotta hear this one. Go ahead.
Why did we bring up Wilder? Oh no.
My brain
but
is
no,
about
I'm
to
down to stay with
explode.
I'm down to stick with that point. But I would like to just
Oh
clarify
no.
for the purpose of this conversation what time period we're talking about for this Vlad being number one. Because I thought we were talking about 2015 era. So apparently you guys are talking about some different era.
Yeah. Let's go back to the number one. Vladimir not being number one to your perspective. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll
Okay,
let you say. We'll let you speak, and then
right,
we'll time after you're done.
so really, my point that I was saying to you is that I was rebutting was that Vlad beat all the top 10 guys when he didn't beat Shannon Briggs, when he didn't beat Deontay Wilder, when he didn't beat Romain Stavern, when he didn't beat Vitaly Klitschko, when he didn't beat Chris Arreola. You cannot say that he cleaned out the division,
Oh
right?
Lord.
He
Yeah,
didn't
he
beat
didn't
any
get
of
the
those guys.
opportunity. He didn't get the
But
opportunity to
regardless,
beat Chris
you can
Arreola.
say whatever you
No,
want.
can I
Just stop
finish?
saying that
Can
he
I
cleaned out the
finish? Can I
division.
finish? Can I finish?
No,
He didn't.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done. You
Okay,
just
okay, I'll let you go.
Let's
My
go.
bad, my bad.
my point to you is don't say that he cleaned out the division when he didn't. That's my only thing. So now if you want to talk about this whole thing about Deontay Wilder ducked, right? So Shelly Finkel is the person that you're actually talking about who said Deontay Wilder was a baby, right? And what he said was, I want to get a couple of title defenses. Shelly Finkel was also, guess whose manager? Vladimir Klitschko, right? So the idea that if you remember correctly, I mean, I'm going to take you back in my way back machine for a minute, but Vladimir Klitschko just signed an HBO deal, a 3-fight HBO deal, right? That started off with Brian Jennings. Everybody was like, how come you're not fighting Wilder and you're fighting Brian Jennings? Vladimir Klitschko at the time said, you know what? Let him get a couple of title defenses, let him get his game up, and then we'll fight. What you saw was, in that moment, what you were looking at is camps building a fight. They're marinating a fight that was supposed to happen, but Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko the next fight, right? So Vladimir Klitschko never got the titles back, and they couldn't do the big fight that they were actually trying to marinate with Deontay Wilder. That wasn't a
You know what?
Wilder ducking situation.
You got a point there. I forgot about that quote. Yeah, because Vladimir did say that leading up to the Jennings fight, and that was right after the fact Deontay said that if Vladimir wants to fight me, it's got to be on my terms. So
Yeah.
it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So they both ducked each other at that
Yes,
point. But
they were marinating a fight. That wasn't Wilder ducking, right?
They got
That's
spoiled.
my
The
only
meat
point.
is rancid.
Wait. Wilder said what? If he
said
wants to
that.
fight me, it has to be on my terms, and he was the
Yep,
clear B side.
yep. That was right after the Burn fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So he
classic.
was
It's
like he was trying to be like Andrade. All right,
Pretty
so
much.
yeah.
Well, again, it's the curse of being Eastern European. You'll have to fight on the Americans' terms,
Well,
which
it's the
almost
same time
certainly
the
would have
smoke
been
point,
laying down.
yeah, but
At
the
the end
smoke's
of the
point
day,
though.
L Dog won.
The smoke's point though. Vladimir did make that quote, that comment right at lead up to the Jennings fight. That was right after Wilder said it. So they both were kind of like playing games. I guess to Smoke's point, they were marinating. So I give Smoke points for that. But I want to go back to him saying that he wasn't number one. He did clean out this, that, and the third. Now I'm sorry to debate you on this one. We already talked about this already. Smoke. My point is this though. Yes, if you want to bring in Deontay Wilder and those guys, great. But you have to understand, Vladimir was already ready for a decade before those guys were coming up. He cleaned out before that. That's the whole point I was arguing. Okay. Yes, he did get a chance to fight those guys, but you could argue that he was already at the end of his career when those guys were coming up.
Bro,
to
if
say,
you okay, a decade, if you want to go back a decade, now you're talking about all the guys he really didn't fight. Now you're talking about the James Tonys of the world. You're
oh
talking
nah,
about
here
the
we.
bro, you
What?
gotta stop with this. You gotta stop with this. He
Oh
Wait,
cleaned out
hold
the
on. I
man,
have
division.
a question,
Bro.
Dan. Wait, Dan, did
All
he
I'm saying
clean
to you,
out?
all I'm saying to you is he never cleaned out any division. What he
What
was the universally recognized
why?
champion,
Wait,
and I'm fine
Wait,
with
hold
it.
on.
I'm
did,
fine
did
with
he
it.
No,
clean
I
we
don't
already
out
understand
talked
why
Lemon
you
about
gotta
this.
put
Brewster?
why do you guys gotta put twos on the fours and say
Wait,
he
James
didn't
What do you
Tony was on his way out. Number one, okay.
James
John
Tony was
Ruiz was.
not on his way. James
Yes,
Tony
he
fought for
was.
the
He was on his
James
way
championship.
Toney
out.
was dropping decisions to Lucas
Okay.
Brown, bro. This
Okay,
is tragic.
sorry. Okay,
Ooh.
wait a minute. So are you saying he was dropping decisions for the entire decade? Because we said go back a decade,
James
and if you
Tony
go
Smoke,
was
back a
looking
smoke.
decade,
to
if
Hold
you
on.
Samuel
go back a
Peter,
decade,
Lucas Brown, and he got caught in a
you'll
drug
exactly
test
see.
against
Okay,
John Ruiz. But
In
no, come on.
2010,
guess what?
in
You
Smoke,
know
let
what?
me
2010,
You know
ask
who
you a
he fought in
question,
that
Smoke.
decade?
Did you study under John von Neumann or something? Because you seem to hate these damn Soviets.
No, man. Like, listen, I don't want. I just said the dude was universally recognized. You guys are trying to give him accolades that he did not deserve.
Wait,
listen,
hold
let
on.
me
Let's
let
go
me
He
down.
go.
doesn't deserve these.
Yo, can I quickly
Oh,
go over
go
what
ahead,
James
BG.
Toney was doing in 2010? Right, in
Go.
2010 he hadn't fought. 2011 he defeats Damon Reed.
Okay,
2011 he loses
okay.
to Dennis
All
Lebedev.
right.
Then
Hold
Bobby
on, hold on,
Gunn
hold on,
Well,
beat.
hold on, hold on,
smoke.
hold on,
Let him
hold on,
finish. Smoke.
hold
Smoke.
on,
This
Let
is
him
hold on.
finish.
crazy, bro. Me and
Smoke.
Smoke
Let him
had
finish.
this
No,
debate
wait a minute,
Let him
wait a
literally.
minute,
talk.
wait a minute,
Smoke.
wait a minute,
Smoke.
wait a
Smoke.
minute,
Let
wait a
him
minute.
finish. Smoke. Smoke.
No,
You
I'm
had.
going to
Wait.
let him
Smoke.
finish,
Smoke. Listen.
just hold on.
All right.
Just
Look.
let me.
Smoke.
But I just
Smoke.
want
I
to
don't
get.
want to
I just
mute
want to get
you.
the
I
dates right.
smoke.
I
I
just want to
don't
get
want
the.
to mute you,
Smoke.
brother. But listen. You had your chance to speak. Let him finish, and then you
Can we just get
finish
the dates
after.
right?
Wait.
Can we just get
Smoke.
the dates
Smoke.
right?
Okay,
Smoke.
okay, Smoke. Tell me the dates. Tell me the dates, and then I'll go from
Right.
there. I have
So
no problem
here you
doing that.
go. Okay, there you go. So if you went 10 years from 2015, so you want to go back to 2005
Whoa. I feel like
because that's what we're talking about.
are we
2015.
talking about 2005? I didn't think we were.
Okay,
Are
we're
we
talking
talking
about
about 2005?
2015, and then he said a decade from 2015. So if you want to
I
go
think
a decade
I
back
thought
from
you were saying a decade from
2015.
now. I
No,
thought you
he's
were
not
saying a
fighting
decade.
Okay.
now.
Let's
Vladimir
talk about
Klitschko fought in 3
2005. Let's
years.
start from there. Let's start from there.
Okay, in
Okay. Let's.
2005. Yeah, okay, let me bring up both of them
Exactly.
at this point. Let me do that. No,
Exactly.
I have no problem doing that. I have no problem doing that. Let me just bring it up though. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
I'm
fine.
going to
That's
this
all I'm
box
saying.
track.
Let's get the dates right. That's
2005.
it.
Vladimir Klitschko is coming off of a loss to Brewster, right?
Yes.
Not a heavyweight world champion at this point. So I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
in
cool.
2005.
I
that's
mean,
pretty tough too.
let's
Yeah.
go.
So it already
Let's go
so it already
to
fell down.
2005 when.
Smoke. You got to stop
Listen.
interrupting, dude. Let
All right.
IB finish.
You know,
Damn. Go
2005,
ahead.
James Toney was doing great things. You know, he just come off of the win over Vander Holyfield and Rydell Booker, and he just beat John Reese. Wait a second. John Reese, do you guys remember something about that fight? Something about James Toney testing positive for a banned substance. Okay, so that fight's voided, and now James Toney's fighting Dominic Gwynn and Hasim Rahman to a draw. Okay, 2006, he's losing to Samuel Peter twice. Another no contest to Rahman. I mean, and then in 2011 he loses to Dennis Lebedev, and this time Vladimir Klitschko picks up the IBF title, fights Chris Bird, gets his rematch with Lamont Brewster and beats him, beats Tony Thompson, beats Ibragimov.
Rockman.
He also beat Rockman without
Okay.
he beat him.
I don't know why we're
No
going through this.
contest.
I think we already.
Beats
I think we've already.
Nagaev,
I think we've
Eddie
already. I
Chambers,
think we've already
beats
shown.
Samuel Peter, who beat James Toney twice. He beats David Hay, who's a world champion, 2-division champion, former unified cruiserweight world champion.
Never gonna be done.
I'm done.
Okay, cool. All right,
where
cool,
they
cool.
applaud?
So here's what I like to say. Your very first thing disproved everything Dan said. 10 years before that, he was losing to Layman Brewster. He wasn't the number one guy cleaning out the division.
We
Like I
never said he
said,
was. We're saying from
James Tony was still around,
2005 to 2015, he
and
was
not
dominating
only that,
division.
in that recital you just did, you brought up another guy that Vladimir Klitschko didn't fight, John Ruiz.
They're not contemporaries. These guys are not contemporaries.
Okay,
I don't know why you're
you just
inflating
said
this idea.
because you just said that they were.
No, they're not.
At
I'm saying they're not.
2005, you brought up what both dudes were doing in 2005. That makes them contemporaries. They were both fighting at the top of the division in 2005.
Are Trevor Burbick and Muhammad Ali contemporaries?
Specifically, Dan said that the guy at 2015 that Vladimir Klitschko had already been rated because of his dominance for 10 years.
Yeah, 2005
right.
to 2015, he hasn't lost a fight.
Right, and you said that he cleaned out the division in that time.
He did.
Okay, great. So when did he fight Hasim Rahman. I mean, when did he fight?
He beat him. He fought him and
He
beat him. Go
literally
ahead.
beat him.
Keep it going.
That is
Keep it going.
picked a name on accident that he
When did he
beat.
fight? When did he fight? When did he
Keep it
fight?
going.
When did he fight James Toney? When did he fight John
What-
Ruiz?
Hey, Tony
Why
wasn't
would he
even-
fight James Toney? Why would he
Hey,
fight
hold on,
James
Okay,
Toney?
we just went through this whole thing, right? We just went
James
through.
Tony wasn't even a top
Listen,
10
listen.
heavyweight at that time,
okay.
bro. What are you
He
talking
wasn't
Listen,
about?
top-
smoke.
Okay, we
Okay,
just
from
talked
tw-
about how he just the guys he just beat at heavyweight
smoke.
at that time.
Smoke. 2006. 2006. Vladimir Klitschko.
2005.
No, that's not when he
2005.
captured his world
Oh,
title. He did
no,
not
you know
capture a world
IBC
title
did.
in 2005. He won an eliminator in 2005. He beat Chris Bird in 2006 to capture the IBF World Heavyweight Championship. You know what James Toney was doing in 2006 when he captured his world title? In 2006, he had a draw with Rahman. And then the year after that, he lost to Samuel Peter. And then the year after that, he lost to Samuel Peter again.
Okay. Okay. So here's are you talking? Okay. Here's the deal. Did Vladimir Klitschko clean out the division in the 10 years prior to 2015? Yes or no? The answer is no, he didn't. No matter how the hell you keep going about James Toney, he didn't do it. He didn't fight James Toney.
Why would
James
he fight
Toney
James
was
Toney?
one of the guys. I'm telling you, James Toney fought for a title during that time. You know who else who fought for a title during that time between 2005 and 2015? Shannon Briggs. He didn't fight that dude.
What world title did?
I can keep going through all the guys he did not fight. For you
Oh, well, let
guys,
me ask
before
Smoke this
you-
question. I'm
I
gonna
can
ask
keep
this question
mentioning all the guys.
again.
So let me bring it up. Let me tell you this. Like the title that Vladimir Klitschko, his first title he got was in the year 2000, right? So let's just put all of this into context. He was already a champion for 5 years at that point.
Well, let me ask you a question, sir. Now, no, Smoke, let me ask you a question, man. So, Terrence Crawford, do you consider him cleaning out 140 when he became the undisputed champion, correct?
Cleaning out the division? No, I don't think he got all the titles. I think there's still fights that he didn't fight Devin Alexander.
So he didn't clean
there's
out.
Still guys.
All right,
did-
cool. So you need to fight, on BoxRec. Let me check how many welterweights are there right now. Errol Spence Jr. cannot clean out the division unless he faces 2,264 welterweights. I agree. Maybe a couple times too, because if any of them are controversial, do some rematches and draws. So yeah.
Is this your new tact? Is this your new tact? Because this is a really bad.
Well, let
argument.
me ask Smoke this question.
Let's try this.
So what does
Let's
clean
try
out
this.
division mean to
Let's
you?
try this. Let's try this.
Wait, Smoke,
Let's
Smoke.
define. Let's
how
define
about
some
you
things.
fight-
Clearly, we
how
have
about
different
you fight-
definitions.
Wait,
Let's
hold on,
define
IBT.
some
Hold up. Smoke. Define cleaning out division to you, to our turn. We're not going to interrupt. Describe that.
Right. All of the contenders when you are coming up, the guys ahead of you, and the other guys who are also be considered as a contender that are your contemporaries. Right. And then depending on how long your reign is, whoever fights their way up into that championship spot.
All right. Well, okay. What fighter is considered to be in that category? To your criteria?
Okay, great. All right. So I'm glad you asked. In the year 2000, when Vladimir Klitschko got his title, you know who had a magnificent fight? Ike Ibushi and David Tua. Guess who Vladimir Klitschko never fought? David Tua.
No. I was not asking you a question. What fighter falls into your category?
Do we just want to go back to 2005? Because
No.
I can keep busting you guys.
I'm asking you a direct question.
keep busting
What
you guys
fighter?
all day.
Wait. Just make the criteria you just listed. What fighter? Doesn't matter if a past fighter or a current fighter. What fighter falls in that category that you
that cleaned out a division?
Yes.
Your criteria.
I would say that Oscar De La Hoya.
No, he never cleaned out a division.
What year?
He never cleaned out a division.
Let me finish.
He never did.
Think about that. Right. So here's
All
the
right,
thing.
we'll give him time.
I am not the person who goes around saying guys cleaned out a division. Right. So that's
You just said it. Wait, hold up. You just mentioned Oscar De La Hoya. What division?
No, because you asked me a question and I posed another question to you. I said,
No, you can't.
I
asked you a direct question.
Hey,
When you said Oscar De La Hoya, hold up. You said Oscar De La Hoya. What division did he clean out?
Okay, great. First off, let me preface this entire thing. Let's take a step back. I am not the person who's saying that guys clean out divisions. This is not my criteria. I'm just saying that Vladimir Klitschko did not clean out a division. Now, if you want to ask me who did clean out the division, we can have that discussion. But I don't have this list off the
Let's
top of my
have
head
that discussion.
Wait, hold up, IBT. Hold up, IBT. Hold up. Smoke.
Let me just finish.
I just asked you. Wait, hold up, Smoke. I just gave you. Wait, hold up.
I can't finish my thought.
Okay, go ahead, finish up, and I'll get.
Cool. Hey, cool. I don't have this list of guys who've cleaned out the division, and Vladimir Klitschko doesn't make the list.
Wait. Okay. So, Smoke. I just asked you. Just lay out your criteria. That what cleaning out division mean to you? You just listed that. And I asked you what fighter falls into that category. You said Oscar De La Hoya.
No,
now I'm
and I said
asking you.
maybe.
That
That is a
did.
question. That is not
Well,
a
I
statement.
asked you. Hold up.
I
Don't run
understand.
away from this now.
Dan,
I
do you
asked
understand
you.
that I'm not saying
No,
Oscar
wait.
De La
Bro, it's
Hoya?
my
That
turn to
I'm
talk. It's
posing a
my
question.
turn to talk, bro. It's my turn to talk. I asked you specifically. Tell me what division. IBT asked you this itself. Tell us what division that Oscar De La Hoya cleaned out that falls in that criteria.
Right. Here's okay. Again, you're treating my statement as if I'm saying Oscar De La Hoya definitely cleaned out a division. I am not.
You
saying
just
that.
said he did.
Great, Dan. You're misunderstanding and misinterpreting my words, and I'm
All
trying
right,
to clear it up
clarify
for
it.
you.
Clarify
But
it.
but
Go
you're
ahead.
not letting me go because you want to make this point, right? But my point to you is this: I said maybe Oscar De La Hoya off the top of my head because Oscar De La Hoya is a guy to me who fought everybody in this generation, right? I don't think there's somebody missing off of the thing that he fought. But if you're to go to a division by division, I would have to look at it. That's really all it is. I'm not saying that it is definitely Oscar De La Hoya because I actually don't even think about boxing in these terms, like who cleaned out the entire division, right? I think that's even like an old school thing. I think it's like Muhammad Ali kind of stuff. I don't even know that you can even do that. I don't even know if you can do that in the modern era kind of thing. And that's the issue about Vladimir Klitschko. Like, I feel like they give this guy accolades that are other fucking fighters, right? But we can go through this whole thing. But I'll do this thought exercise with you. I just don't have it listed off the top of my head. So if you're looking for that,
so can I say something real quick?
Go ahead,
I've been chilling and listening. All right, so look, when I think of somebody saying they clean out the division, I'm only concerned about the top of the division, which I think is that what we're talking about.
Well, but it's the top of it's the top of the division, but it's the top of the division before you got there that is still around, right? So it's like you take somebody like AJ, right? He came up in a time where there was other guys ahead of him. Fury was ahead of him. Vladimir Klitschko was ahead of him. Deontay Wilder was ahead of him. So he can clean out all the guys that he came up with, but he also has to clean out the guys that were ahead of him too. And then if there's somebody that comes up that's a challenge, like I guess you already did the Joseph Parkers, but you still.
Well, you mentioned Oscar De La Hoya, and I'm asking you what division did De La Hoya do that in that situation that you just stated.
Great. Listen, if it's not De La Hoya, it's fine. I'm not making some great argument for De La Hoya.
No, dude. You said Oscar De La Hoya. I want you to make the argument.
Bro, like you really are gone with this Oscar De La Hoya thing. Let me explain to you this one more time. Let me explain it to you one more time so you understand my response. Okay, great. I said that, and I said that as a question because I don't actually know.
Well, why would you mention it if you don't know?
But go ahead. Because I told you why. I told you why. Because the impression that I get from Oscar De La Hoya is that he fought everybody.
Smoke, I understand you. I understand your logic. Let me just, I have a list here. I've done this before. I have the same criteria for fighters who cleared out their division. I really do. So let me read out my list here. It's a very long paper. All right, that was my list. Thank you, guys. Those were the list of fighters who have cleared out their division by the standards of Get This Smoke. The issue is that fighters cannot fight 20 guys in 1 year. And if you want to go back to, I challenge you to find any era where the champion defeated everyone in the top 20 or however many guys you want to say. In that case, I can say Anthony Joshua. You know what? You can beat literally everyone in the top 20 right now, but you didn't beat Oliver McCall. And Oliver McCall is still, he's a former world champion. He has a Hall of Fame win, and he's still active. So they are contemporaries. They are contemporary fighters. No, they're not.
How about this? How about the guys that are that if they're top 5 while you're coming up and they're still top 5, fight those guys, and also whoever's the champion at the time, right? So if you want to talk about cleaning out the division, like it's not even about top 20. The dude didn't even fight the top 10. We don't even need to go to top 20. I don't know why you guys need to go to all of these extremes to make these points, right? Because it's very black and white.
Are you talking about Vladimir Klitschko?
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly. Like Vladimir Klitschko did not fight champions in his own division.
He did.
And you're saying he cleaned out the division?
He did. He beat Brogdon was a champion.
Okay, great. Okay, so John Ruiz wasn't a champion in his own division and wasn't active at the same time?
Well, first of all, John Ruiz they were fighting for a vacant title. That's what you're referring to, James Toney, John Ruiz, and James Toney failed the drug test, so that title went vacant again.
No, bro, that's just only one fight. I'm talking about John Ruiz, the fighter. John Ruiz was a champion during that time. Michael Grant was a champion during that time.
No, he never was. He never was a champion.
No, Michael Grant was. No, you're right. He wasn't. He just fought for the title after he beat Galata. He just
Let me make a quick correction. By the time Vladimir Klitschko held the IBF world title, John Reese did not hold the world title, and he never held one after that because he captured his world title in 2006. Like I've been saying, he fights James Toney and loses, but it's turned to a no decision, right, because of the drug test. And then the fight after that in 2005, John Reese loses a majority decision to Nikolai Valuev, and then after that he loses a split decision to Ruslan Shagayev. And then his career continues after that. He loses to Valuev again. He loses to
You're
Hay.
going off of these tether. You're just
No,
going
no,
off
it's
of-
not tether. I'm
Are,
just
John, are you
explaining.
saying that John
Listen,
Ruiz? Are you saying that John Ruiz and Vladimir Klitschko were not at the top of their division at the same time?
John Reese and Vladimir Klitschko. No, by the time he had a world title, Vladimir
No,
Klitschko.
you're saying 2006. But my question to you is: were they the top of the division, seen at the best of their division at the same time during the same number of years? Were both of those guys rated top 15 in the division?
In 2006, John Reese was the number
Okay,
one.
I'm not
Sorry,
saying
number 10.
2006.
Number
I know
10.
you keep banging on 2006. Forget 2006.
Well, it
At
was
any
not.
point,
It's
When?
really
at
not
any
reason
point,
When after?
your
okay, so
argument,
let's
though.
let me put it to you like this: Vladimir Klitschko never fought John Ruiz. Now, at any point in their career, were they both considered top 15?
Yeah.
Great. So stop with the cleaning out the division stuff and needs to be top 20. He didn't even
Well, let
fight
me ask
his
you this
own
No, I'm not even
contemporaries.
saying top 20. I'm saying the issue is that these guys may have fought in the same year, but that doesn't make them contemporaries. Some guys are coming up while some guys are on their way out. Those guys are not contemporaries. I would say
okay,
Trevor
so
Berbick and Muhammad Ali are not contemporaries, despite the fact that they both were technically active at the same time. Oliver McCall is not a contemporary with Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. That's Oliver McCall is not a contemporary with Tony Yoka. Are they both active at the same time? Yes.
okay,
Are they
all right,
contemporaries? Not in the slightest.
okay, so what do you think then? For me, I feel like that throws a huge monkey wrench in the upcoming fight between AJ and Pulev. Are they not in the same? Because according to your logic, they're not the same contemporaries. They're not contemporaries at all.
But how? What did I say that made you think they're not contemporaries?
Right? Because apparently, because Pulev is from a different era. He's from a bygone era, right? Just because they're active at the same time don't mean they're contemporaries.
I
Well,
wouldn't say that Pulev is part of this era, although he is active in this era. Is that fair?
Right? I don't understand. What my point to you is this: if a guy is still operating at the top levels of the division, this whole idea of where generation that they came from is moot.
Well, Smoke, let me ask you a question. So, Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest middleweights, well, arguably the greatest middleweight of all time, did he clean out the division?
No.
Did he clean out the division? I take a look at it. I
No.
would probably say
It's
no.
impossible.
I would probably
It's
say
literally
no.
impossible.
But why do you need for Marvin Hagler to clean out the division? My point is, why do you need Vladimir Klitschko to clean out a division that he clearly didn't clean out?
Okay, can we put it this way instead of using the words cleared out, because you hate these words, and I understand it by your definition. He definitely did not. If your definition is the one in play, he 130 billion% did not. How about he defeated over a dozen top 10 contenders,
Yeah,
and he
no
defeated
problem.
champions
No
that he
problem.
fought, and
Yeah,
he
no problem.
defeated multiple
no
weight
problem.
world
No
champions, and
problem.
he defeated many
Yeah,
undefeated fighters who were top 10 at
Yeah,
the
of course.
time.
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Of course.
Can we
Yeah,
say he's
that's no
had the
problem.
best? He's the best heavyweight of the 2010s.
Like I said, if you want to say that he's the
Could we say he's the
recognized,
clear number one heavyweight of the 2000?
I believe that the correct phrase that
No,
came
Smoke,
that,
so
that
answer the
came into
question,
fashion.
bro.
I'm asking you a
Marvin
question.
Klitschko was the
I'm
best
telling
middleweight
you,
in the
and I'm
decade.
answering your
You
question.
see, I'm a
I'm answering your
casual. I don't
question.
really know, so I'm just
I'm
asking.
answering your question. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
I believe that the correct way to characterize his reign was the way that they did. That he is a universally recognized number one guy.
So the clear number one.
So in your eyes, he was number one. Your
Say
perspective.
again. I believe.
Your
No, I
perspective.
think he's again universally recognized. So
So
I don't know.
everyone in the
wait, hold
universe,
up, IBT.
actually.
Wait, hold up, IBT. Hold up.
Universally recognized.
Smoke,
Everybody
Smoke,
recognizes him as the number one.
Well, I'm asking you. Forget everybody else. Let's not factor everybody else. I'm asking you. Your opinion, was he the number one heavyweight?
Yeah,
Number one.
definitely. He was definitely the guy to beat. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
He is. Okay. Then we're getting somewhere there. Okay. Look, guys. You know what? Look, I gotta wrap this up, guys. I gotta wrap this up.
I feel like if I rewinded 50 minutes ago, he didn't say that.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Exactly. So I gotta wrap this up, guys. But hey, this was damn good discussion today. I really appreciate you guys for coming on. IBT, thanks for coming on, man. Smoke, as always, man. I know we got heated, but it's always good to have you on.
Nah, I mean, I love being it. I hope that's if that's heated for you. Then
It's all
Yeah,
good.
you
let's
you
chill.
might be shocked, appalled at dinner around my house. But anyway, yeah.
What up, man? It's always good to debate you, man. No question. Hey, shout out to the chat. EJ was here a second ago. I'm biased. Ahmed Jalik was here momentarily. I know he didn't want to get his questions in, but hey, it's all good though. Till next time, man. D Style was in here. L Dog. Great discussion today, guys. Shout out to the chat. AO Booze, Jeff Boxon, BG London, Joe Host. And I can't get to all you guys, but it's all good though. Kurt Sugar in the chat. Hamed was in here momentarily. Ernest Terry, who's a new commenter in here. Shout out to Ernest Terry. Raider, from the MXBC. Shout out to Raider. Whatnot, and Chicano Prophet. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Until next time, we're out. Peace. All right.
MXD legend Raider.
Yeah, Raider's cool though, man.
He's not MXBC, but yeah.
Oh, is it? All right, my bad,
No,
Raider.
no,
My bad, bro. My bad.
No, but I'm
My
definitely
bad.
about to tease him about that one.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, thanks for
My
having me
bad.
on. I appreciate it.
No problem,
Peace,
IBT.
peace,
Thanks,
Dan.
man.
Peace, Dan.
All right, peace, guys. Take care. Bye bye.